Once you pop out, pop back in again. Maybe it's
All right.
Oh, I thought he'd never leave.
I'm gonna mess with him when he comes back. Go along with it.
Okay.
You guys there?
Over there? We can hear you okay. Are you okay with us?
Well,
You guys are fucking idiots.
Wait, hold on a second. When you called us idiots, was it because like we were like talking with our hands over our mouths, or was it because you couldn't hear us?
No, it was because you guys were talking like you were trying to make it like I was breaking up, like I was some kind of fucking Neanderthal that didn't know you were trying to do that.
No. We're trying to make you feel stupid.
Welcome. You have now tuned in to the Blackout and Shout podcast with your host, Mike Kincaid.
Can I tell you that Baby Yoda just annoys the shit out of me?
That's because you haven't watched The Mandalorian.
Oh, look at Baby Yoda, so cute.
Levy Curry.
Some people do all sorts of crazy stuff, like dinosaur romance novels. Those are really a thing. Taken by the T-Rex. A billionaire dinosaur forced me. Ravaged by the raptors.
I wonder if there's audiobooks of them.
And Jed Vargo.
He was always like well known for wearing the Nazi outfit on.
Captain Kangaroo?
Captain Kangaroo.
Didn't he have the...
No. And he did not dress up as a Nazi either.
So sit back. Mike, are you... Listen to me. Relax. Say, transform and roll out. And enjoy the show.
Where are we at? 113, right? Is it 113?
Yep.
Oh, lucky number 113.
Yup.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 113th episode of the Blackout and Shout podcast. How is everybody doing?
Great.
Thanks to Nate for filling in last time. It's cool of him.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start on my virtual left side. Ladies and gentlemen, Jed Vargo. What's going on, Jed?
Hey, that's me. Not too much. Just another long week, you know. Glad it's Friday. Glad it's the weekend coming up. Just trying to kick back and relax. Tired of shoveling snow. Well, actually, I haven't shoveled any snow. Just to let the wife do that. So
yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired of telling my wife to shovel the snow.
I'm tired of listening to her complain about her back problems from shoveling.
Are you off on Monday? Are you guys off on Monday?
No.
No. What's that? What's Monday?
President's Day.
President's Day.
Oh, no. I don't work for the immediate government where I get all those weird holidays like Flag Day and shit like that.
Yeah. So are you still in your collecting rut, or are you was it a temporary? Was it like a temporary thing? Or are you still kind of feeling it?
No, I'm still kind of feeling it a little bit. Like I have, I had like this really big, huge pile of loot that from BBTS that's been sitting there for like months, and I finally got it shipped because I had to, because I was running out of like days and before I had to ship it. So I did that on Monday. I was supposed to get it today, but because of fucking dumbass FedEx, they it got dark out, so they can't deliver anymore. So they had to turn around.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that.
Fuck. So they're like, yeah, out for delivery, 6 a.m. And 7 o'clock rolls around. Well, we'll have to defer it to the next day because we don't have lights on our trucks, I guess, or something stupid like that.
Our drivers are scared of the dark.
Right. So I didn't get my box of crap, but half of it was like for Sean anyway. It was like from birthday presents and Christmas presents that I was waiting for forever to get. But I had some like Marvel Legends and that X Transport's Wind Charger and a couple other things in there. But I haven't really bought anything at all. I've been looking at a couple of auctions on eBay for some Play Arts Kai stuff, but I didn't feel like paying more than what it was they were asking, like past like the $40 like auction limit or whatever, and people outbid me, and I was like, fuck it, I don't care. But yeah, I've been like kind of looking at my stuff, and I'm thinking about selling some shit actually. So, but I did decide to go in on Virtus. So it was only
me too.
And it was only like extra $53 that I had to throw down on it. So I was like, all right, I'll do that then.
Who'd you end up getting? You end up getting it from TCP or somewhere else?
Well, I had originally pre-ordered it from TCP years ago, and then I paid it.
Yeah.
So I had, like 160 something already on it. Yeah, credit. So I just figured I'll throw it down, extra stuff down on it. So, but I canceled the lock. I canceled a lot of stuff, a lot of pre-order stuff. One thing I didn't mention last time was those 12-inch GI Joes from 3A. Those I canceled. Yeah. Canceled a couple other things. Yeah, remember when you said like a month ago or two that you said would collecting GI Joes, the exclusives like make people not want to collect it because it was so hard to find, and that's like one of those things that makes me feel like I don't think I really want to get too much anymore. I canceled some other GI Joe stuff too, and I don't know. I think I might be done with that line. I think I'm going to be very selective. I think that's what I'm turning toward. I'm going to be very selective with what I get.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I don't know. I hear that out of more than just you. I've heard that out of not just people that are done with the GI Joe line, but people that are kind of getting more selective and selling stuff off, and it's I don't know if it's a product of collecting a ton of different lines and just kind of getting overwhelmed with shit, or if it's just I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Like I look back and I plan out my display and I think, how am I going to display this and that? I'm like, I don't have any room to display what I want. I'm not going to be an in-box, in-bin collector where I have it in a bin and then I say like, oh, I'm going to rotate it out and put this out and keep that in. I'm like, that's not right. That's not me. I want to keep everything out the way I want it. So yeah, I mean, like some of the littler, the smaller stuff maybe got to go. So I kind of stuff that I didn't really see.
I made that decision a long time ago, Jed. Like, it was like two things. It was the 40-year-old virgin was step one, and step two was the same thing. Like, looking at all them bins, like, what am I doing with all this shit? So it's like, that's a good plan. Like, if it's sitting in a box, it's not doing you any good. And if you ever have people over or want to see your collection, it's like, well, what are you going to do? Start opening boxes, and it's like, hey, look at this shit I got in there that I keep in the attic or wherever it is that you keep that shit.
Here's pictures of things I have in containers upstairs.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like comic books where you can say, oh, well, I have this and here it is in this, this box or whatever. Let me pull it out. It's like, it's a collectible. And I like to keep those things on display as much as I would want to.
That's interesting that you brought that up, because I like you will always post pictures of comics that he's got like graded, and it seems like he has a ton of them. So it's like, how do you
slabbed?
Yeah, but it seems like a ton of them. Like how do you collect that? Like, do you stick them in a box just like you would stick normal comics in, or is that shit that you hang like you would hang a poster? Like, how is it that you?
Well, it depends. Like, most of the slabs have UV resistant plastic on it, so you can display it.
Yeah.
Once it's graded, I don't think it really matters if it kind of dulls in color or not, because it's still inside slab. But I know the one way he has it in like a box, and I think it kind of like a stand up, so you can actually read what the comic is that's on the top of the slab, so you can kind of see it that way versus like, say, a comic. So you can actually like see it in order and you're looking down, kind of like, like, I don't know how you guys used to collect your old Nintendo cartridges, but you kind of had it like in a sleeve in a box standing straight up.
I usually just kept them in a pile on the floor in my bedroom.
Did you? Let's go back to cassettes, like when you had cassettes.
Right next to my bitten controllers.
Or CDs are different, because CDs you used to throw in a book, but like cassettes used to have like the little brown or black briefcase. You open it up, you can see all the cassettes you have, like from that point down. That's kind of how slabs are. That's how you can see it in the box straight down. But yeah, I'm going to be more selective.
That's funny, Levy, the bitten controller.
Yeah.
Levy came over. I think the first time Levy came over to my house ever, like when we first started hanging out, we went to play. I think it was N64 at that point, and we went
No, it was Super
to
Nintendo.
grab the controllers, and he picked. Was it Super Nintendo? He picked the controller up and looked, and it had like a perfect half circle of teeth marks in it. And he's like, "Oh, you bite your controllers too."
I said it in like a way. It's like, oh, I see you are also a man of class and refinement.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like we knew we were going to be really good friends from that point forward. You know.
I've never bit a controller in my life.
Well, it's like
I've thrown them against walls.
Well, see, that's what we were trying to avoid by biting them, because you get that. I know, Levy, I could probably speak for you. You want to throw the fucking controller, but like there's some small semblance of humanity left in you at that point that knows rationally that if you throw the controller, all you're going to do is break it or put a hole in a wall or whatever. Yeah. So it's like, what's the next best thing? You fucking bite it, you know, and then you just put some teeth marks in it. Yeah. But anyways, back to the main point though. So there's a current like thinning of the herd possibly going on, huh?
Just you know, like when you see something and they show it and it's like brand new and you're like, ooh, I gotta pre-order that, you know, because it's exciting,
right?
And now instead of it just getting shipped to me and sitting there in a box, I'm like, I don't really need that, so I just kind of cancel the pre-order now, you know. Like, I don't need any more of these Marvel Legends, you know, the Spider-Verse ones. I mean, it'd be cool to have, but I don't really need it. So that type of thing. That's where I'm at right now. I'm going to be, like I said, just be more selective.
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of there too, right? Because you're like at near the end of the Transformers collection thing, and you're only collecting specific like X-Men and G.I. Joes now.
Well, for me, it's actually funny because I've actually opened up, you know, because at one point there, before that day when I was handed a Christmas or a birthday present and it had a Scorpion and a Sub-Zero in it, up until that point it was just Transformers and that was it, fucking Transformers and Transformers only. Yeah. And then so that happened, and then it's like, all right, well, so now it's Transformers and Mortal Kombat, you know, and then. You know, and then the Marvel Legends thing kind of happened, and then that graduated into, well, like Mafex and, you know, Amazing Yamaguchi and whatever, you know, like the more higher end import figures, which actually by its own merit kind of slimmed down the Marvel Legends collecting, because like I'm getting less stuff and I'm just holding out for like certain ones, you know. And then the G.I. Joe thing happened. So I actually like added more lines to what I'm collecting, Fist of the North Star. But that being said, it's still very specific. Like if you're, I don't know, it's kind of like, I kind of compare it to like my style of collecting would be going into a store that had every single thing imaginable and going like, or like a Target or a Walmart. And it's like, I'm going to the toy section, and the toy section in this analogy is the specific lines that I collect, where people that are into collecting all kinds of different shit walk into the store and don't even fucking know which way to look, because they collect a little bit of everything from every department in said store. So I think that could be kind of like an overwhelming thing. And for me, being a little more focused, I haven't really gotten to that point. I've gotten to the point where it's a little fucking annoying, like you said, about the prices and stuff going up. That's a bummer, but I'm kind of like rationalizing that by saying, well, you know, I am at the tail end. It's not like I have season 1, 2, all these season 1, 2, and 3 to go. I got like most of season 1 and 2 and 3 for that matter. And so now I'm just kind of collecting, you know, whenever a fan's hobby does an oddball Master Force, you know, character or, you know, something comes out that I want that I don't have, but it's very specific. So it's like, I'm not getting that overwhelming feeling. And I'm glad I did, because I'd be bummed, because I really enjoy collecting and this hobby and all that shit. And if I was feeling at the point where, I don't know, I was overwhelmed and I just felt like not collecting anymore or selling all my shit or whatever, I'd be a little bit bummed out, because that is a little part of what I do. Right. That would be gone.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can still say that you're going to collect something. It's just that you're being specific about like what you want to collect too. So, you know, one thing that I did want to talk about was the reissue price. like you were saying about how prices are going up. You know, if you think about it, if you're just starting getting into it now, I mean, you're getting more screwed over than what you were, you know, a few years ago with things.
Oh, even 2 years ago or 3. Yeah, I posted I posted a picture of Vortex, the Warbotron Vortex with the G1 Vortex today, and some guy commented on it and wanted to know if the big one, meaning the Warbotron one, transformed. And I said, yeah. And he goes, does it combine with other Combaticons? I'm like, yeah, it's a whole team. I said, look it up, Warbotron Bruticus or Warbotron Combaticons or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I think I'm going to start collecting. And I read that. He said, I think I'm going to start collecting. I read that and I just like, you know, it was like I gave myself a face palm, like, oh man, this poor fucking soul. You don't like know, man. You know,
like buying stocks now when the market's super high. You're like, I'm gonna get in now.
That's exactly right. So that it's, man, I think you'll be happier. I think if you focus, you don't have to quit altogether, but like you said, if you just focus, get rid of the shit that you're not feeling and you focus down to whatever Transformers and whatever, you know, whatever Marvel characters you still want, or I don't know what direction you're heading in, but I think whatever it is, if it's slimmed down and refined, I think that you'll feel a hell of a lot better about it. Yeah. Going forward.
Yeah. I think I will.
And the other thing too, I think, is that when you do focus more and you're getting less stuff, sometimes there's a lull in the action, and you don't get something for a couple weeks at a time or a month or two at a time. And it's like, that's a great time to go back and appreciate the shit you do have. Like, hey, it's time to bust some of this old shit out and fuck around with it, or take some pictures or whatever, you know, as opposed to just this constant stream of shit coming in. And you're just, you know, you're getting too much stuff when you got a pile of shit that you haven't even opened yet. And you don't have time to open it because you just got other shit that you just opened, and then it gets crazy.
Levy, how do you do it?
I don't know. I mean, do I buy too much shit? Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I just got 4 freaking Mafex figures this week. But that's mostly because, you know, Mafex's release schedule's all boned. But
you're pretty good though with like opening things right away when you get it though, right?
Yeah, for the most part. I still haven't opened my Quintessons and Alicons, though. Makes me wonder if I should have gotten them in the first place.
Mike, you heard that rumor, right? The that I mentioned last show, the X Transbot's gonna throw 3 eggs for $3.99 or whatever.
Yeah, I can't remember who I was talking to. Maybe it was Nate. I'm like, if they do that, I'm buying a 3-pack for spite. Or no, it was Brother Kyle. I said I'm buying a 3-pack for spite, and he's like, and Brother Kyle's like, who exactly would you be spiting? Besides yourself, you know, and I'm like, well, you know, because I would end up like selling the two of the 3 that I already bought, like with the electronics, and hopefully somehow make some of the money back, most of the money back, and then just get like, because I don't give a fuck about all that electronic shit. I'm cool if only one of them has it, and the other 3 are just, you know, more or less just plain old action figures. Like,
you got to take one of those Echo Dots and then take the guts out and put it inside a Quintesson and start calling it like Alexa and shit.
yeah, right. That'd be great if there was, and if you could program it to answer to whatever. What was the one that they named? I know we're not going to remember the name off the top of our heads, but it was that one Quintesson that was actually named that that got thrown in with Cup and Ultra Magnus when they dropped them off on a Planet of Goo. But like if it would answer to that would be fucking awesome. Yeah, man. Yeah, who would you be spiting? I'd be spiting my fucking bank account. So I'd be spiting. Yeah.
That's my haul, basically. I didn't get anything. But I was supposed to, but I didn't get anything.
Yeah.
And my shout outs,
while we're on that.
Yeah. Fuck you, John Bailey.
Any plugs yet? Are you working on anything right now?
I've been kind of lackadaisical with that because of just like going on in my personal life. I've been kind of like in a creative rut with things. So, but hopefully I'll get back into it. I've been thinking of a lot of different things I want to do, but I haven't actually worked on anything. I actually wanted to try to come up, like brainstorm something for our YouTube channel too. something that we can do like on a weekly thing. That I was thinking maybe we should like utilize that a little bit more than what we do. I know I have all the D&D stuff that I wanted to do, put those out. And I'll get around to doing that. And then I get all the other projects that I have that I'm working on, but something different and unique that's not normally out there. Like maybe we'll just do like a video of your ass like every week or something.
My ass. Yeah,
we'll be fulfilling.
Sounds like the fucking ideas are really rolling. Yeah.
What underwear is Mike wearing this week?
Well, remember in Idiocracy, the number one movie that year that it took place was a movie called Ass. And it was like 2 hours of a man's ass. It also won Golden Globe for Best Picture.
I should go back over my YouTube videos and get take all the clips like where I am if I'm in my underwear and just clip them all to like a ass compilation and see how many. You know what would happen? It would get a bunch of views and I'd be pissed.
It would be assortment.
It would be the MKU of your individual premieres. It'll be like an Avengers, coming together. Like
assemble.
Oh man. Yes. Avengers assemble. Yeah, right.
Perfect.
Oh boy, the fucking brownies are kicking in. The edibles are kicking in early tonight. That's great. Well, you know what? On that note, Levy, sitting on my virtual right, ladies and gentlemen, Levi Curry. What's going on, Levy? Hey, did you see Little Sweet made a comeback?
No, I didn't see that.
Did.
Little Sweet was on. He was on. It might have been a Super Bowl commercial, or maybe even early. Yeah, he was playing the drum. Yeah, right. I like when they turned the fan on and blew his ass right out of the fucking chair.
It's the sweet taste, Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I didn't even watch the game.
Levy, do you have any plug? You didn't. Yeah. It was a shit game. This whole season. You know what? Two of the offensive linemen, the Chiefs' offensive linemen were. I think they had COVID, so they were like out. And I don't know, man. That just wanted to show you how bad Patrick Mahomes played. Like, it makes you think about Carson Wentz, because it's like, oh, he's back there getting his ass killed all season, and it's like now that the Eagles are like looking to load him off, and it's like, well, dude, the best quarterback in the league just looked like an amateur because he had two backups in there, and he was getting chased around, running for his life, and he looked like shit. And it's like, well, that's what happens, man.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Tom Brady. I'm so tired of that motherfucker, man. This dude steps in shit all the time. I mean, I'm not saying he's not good. He's obviously a really fucking good quarterback, but it's like, plays the Chiefs. The Chiefs got Lyman out. I'm sorry, the flags were flying a little for my taste. Yeah.
Watched the first half, turned it off. Didn't even watch the halftime show, and I just like looked up the commercials online for the next half hour, and then that was it.
Yeah, they were all garbage for the most part.
So how was the halftime show?
Too
trash, from what I heard.
The Weeknd, I never even heard heard of him, but I've heard that song, that last song that he played, that sounds like something like Aha wrote, but he did it. It's like, it sounds real 80s sounding and shit. I didn't even know who that was until he did it on that show. But there was this whole weird, like, I don't know. Everybody was dressed in, I don't know why. I can't even really describe it. It was a weird show, man. It was a weird show. Somebody had, I don't know who showed it to me, but somebody had like a picture of the Weeknd surrounded by a bunch of those guys. And it was like, it was like a line from like, turn over the bat. And then somebody else put him and a bunch of them dudes, like photoshopped them on the cover of like a Slipknot album cover, which is kind of funny too, I guess. I don't know.
I can't
Levy,
even remember.
Did you get anything?
Well, I got 4 Mafex figures from Ami. Mafex, they kept pushing figures back until finally they pulled a Mesco and released like 4 of them in a month. So
yeah, Nice.
But yeah, I ended up finally getting my Mafex Superman. Been waiting for that for forever, and he's broken.
That sucks.
So it's not the break isn't really that bad. It's just the one joint on the toe hinge, the one side of the toe hinge, one piece of it broke off, so it's not really held on there on that side. But I mean, it doesn't really affect the figure at all. So even if it comes off, I can just put it back on real easy.
Gort posted in Realm of the Collectors like what's in the box, and I thought of you, and I posted. I said disappointment and anguish.
Wait, why did disappointment and anguish make you think of me?
Because of your broken figures that you got. You're like,
I know.
Sucks.
I'm just
because that's exactly what it is when you open that. You're like disappointment and anguish.
I thought you were saying that I'm just disappointment and anguish.
No, the figure being broken when you open it, or missing, or having two left hands, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I've never had that happen. But so I got Superman, and I also got the Batman black recolor for the Hush Batman, because the original Hush one was like a dark navy blue, and then so they redid it in black. So I got that one. I got Mafex Black Manta from the Aquaman movie. Cool figure, except his legs don't spread out at all. I mean, you get maybe just a few degrees out. And then I am also missing his sword. His sword never came in the package. And I got the Mafex Peter B. Parker from Into the Spider-Verse. So
cool. I thought that was a Marvel Legends, the one. I didn't know that was a Mafex. Interesting.
The one the picture that I posted?
Yeah.
Oh.
Cool.
I'm not sure if I got anything else. I don't think I did. Yeah, because I knew this was an expensive box from Ami, so because I had two other figures in there for Kyle and Lewis. So it was probably the biggest box I've gotten from Ami.
How long did it take to get to you?
It ended up it shipped on Thursday last week, and I got it on Tuesday, but only because I had asked for them to deliver the next day, because it was supposed to come Monday. I asked them to deliver it on Tuesday because I normally get it shipped to work, and I wasn't at work on Monday. So, so Thursday, I should say Thursday night, it shipped. My time, so it would have been Friday Japan time. So it shipped Friday Japan, and it would have come on Monday. So
it's amazing that DHL can ship that shit, from across the world to your house, and FedEx can't even fucking deliver the shit fucking after dark.
Yeah. Well, shit, for the price that I paid for that DHL shipping.
Yeah. Still.
But yeah, that's it for my hauls. What other stuff? Shoutouts and I never plug anything. What did you say,
your memes.
Plug my
plug
memes.
The memes that you put.
There's too many to name. That's all my Facebook account is anymore. Is just memes and promotions of the podcast.
Shout out to my wife for letting me know that your daily routine. Ever since she's become your friend on Facebook, I hear about it all the time now.
Oh, really?
I got an LOL.
Really?
Well, I mean, when you are a meme lord, so I mean, there is a certain recognition, involved with that.
I try to live up to that most auspicious of titles. Or should I say auspicious?
Need a laugh track, Jed. Like a sitcom laugh track.
I did that once with Tyler. Yeah, it works out pretty good, actually. How about you, Mike?
I got some new ink since last time. I got Vampire Hunter D filled in, and it looks pretty fucking good. And I got to tell you, Lev, I actually when I got there, Jason, he's my tattoo artist. I was like, dude, I could not wait to get this filled in, man. And he's like, why is that? And I said, as a line drawing, have you ever noticed how much Vampire Hunter D looks like Carmen Sandiego? And he was cracking the fuck up. Because it was like, you aren't the only person to say that. I had like fucking 4 people ask me, dude, what the fuck you got Wolverine and Carmen Sandiego tattooed on your leg for? And I was like, oh man, seriously does, dude. The same hat and the coat and even the hair, like it's everything basically like without color looks exactly the same, except like D has like those like horns on his shoulders. But outside of that, it's like the same fucking thing, man. It's crazy. So I was like, yes, please, let's get this. He's like, do you want to start the outlines on because I'm getting Raiden and Ash, Army of Darkness Ash on the inside. And he goes, do you want me to start the outlines of the other guys? I was like, fill D in. I'm not leaving here until that looks like Vampire Hunter D. Yeah, so I got that done. I got two. So I got the 2 Red Ninjas that I ordered. Does anybody know where the hell? Like, so DCP got the Red Ninjas in, but like Red Ninjas came in a wave with Gung Ho and Cobra Commander, I think, which is supposed to be wave number 2. It's like
8?
we're still waiting on those. I
think the Red Ninjas were number 8. I think they're number 8. Is that what they were?
Number 8. Yeah, I'd have to look it up. You might be right. Yeah, it's just like I wonder why they're coming out. Like, I don't know. It just seems like Cobra and Gung Ho are taking forever. Yes, you're right. They're number 8. Red Ninja is number 8. So I got 2 of those. I'm waiting on another 2. With the wave, because I ordered that wave twice. And what else did I get? I got Smokey. I got Fans Toys Smokey. And I got by the way, Smokey, you know, Fans Toys makes a good shelf figure. Like, but they're not, I don't know, man. Their articulation sometimes is like suspect. Like, yeah, they like sometimes they don't do ankle. Sometimes they don't do like a good ankle tilt, which is really frustrating because then you can't get into any like really good poses and shit unless he's up on one foot, whoever it might be. And they don't have a it's very rare, if ever, that they have an ab crunch. I think they do, a few figures have it and stuff, but it's almost like that's starting to become almost expected in more modern figures, and they never have them. And Smokey only had one like single joint elbows that get you to 90. And it's like, man, and the X Transboss one can get into like fucking yoga poses and shit, you know? So it looks awesome. Smokey looks awesome, but Overheat might actually be the better toy. Crazy.
Which one's Overheat?
X Transbots.
Oh, okay.
And you were doing the
I'm comparing drag strips.
X Transbots for combined mode, Fans Toys for bots, right?
No, I'm actually doing it the other way around, and I'm glad I made that decision because I feel like the toys themselves as action figures are actually the X Transbots are actually better. Like, I feel like people are a little fooled by size sometimes. It's almost like you gotta take size out of the equation unless that's the driving force between why you buy one figure versus another, which sometimes I guess I could see it being that way. But if like as far as the straight up comparisons, man, you know, sometimes the bigger or heavier one isn't always the better toy. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not. Speaking of big heavy toys, I also got. So I went in on this Predacon set, this Kang Toys Predacon set, and I got the Lambull. So Lambull showed up. Man, what a monster! What a fucking monster that is. I mean, like, I fucked with yours, Jed, a little bit when you had it here, but you know, I'm not really into really like manhandling another man's toys, especially when it's a. And that right there, by the way, folks, is most definitely going to be the opening clip. You should just make it that line, Jed. But yeah, I mean, especially when another man's toy is $130. You know, if it's some mainline shit, I don't mind. But when it's like some 3P shit, like if I go if I go over to like Nate's house or whatever, and he's real cool, like, yeah, you can take that out, man, check it out. And I'm like, I'll look at it. It's fine. Just keep it in the case where it belongs. The toy, Levy, you dick. Oh man, I can't wait till we get like an hour and a half in. This shit. Great.
Yeah. Never rub another man's rhubarb.
Never. But anyway, my point being is that now that I have my own toy and I can play with it all I want, I was actually really impressed by it, like super impressed by it. So
yeah, I was saying the
definitely
price point for the quality that you get from that is definitely in your favor.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's
Lamble's
another interesting point, Jed.
Yeah.
Because you said it, and it really made me. I hadn't thought about it that way until you said it about, well, like you're gonna pay $160 for X Transbot's cup, which is like a 8-inch, a little 8-inch figure. And there's not a ton to him, he's not like a big guy, but but you're disappointed about spending the exact same price on his Lambo, which is like 2 inches taller and it's just a fucking monster of an action figure. And I was like, oh man, he's got a point. Like I'm pissed off that I had to get in on the reissue of the Tiger of Rampage with Ferocious. I had to get in on the reissue and you guys paid $125 for that. I'm going to end up paying $160 for it. And I was annoyed by that. But until you put that shit in perspective, I was like, yeah, see, now if these just always costed $160, I wouldn't have thought about it for a second. It would have been like, yeah, that's a nice big chunky action figure for $160. But since it went from 124 and then after you told me that, it made me feel better about Lambo and it pissed me off about Cup. I'm like, God damn it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, because those things are like the same size a Dinobot, they're huge.
Yeah. They are like, big. They're
I think I measured it out. They
stand a good head taller than MP.
I think that in beast mode, I think they're about the same size as Snarl from Fans Toys.
Yeah.
They're pretty big. And then now with Firmament, the freaking wingspan on that thing is like 2 feet.
Well, let's talk about him when I actually have him in the toy news, because I did want to talk about this further, but we can skip over
cool.
my that was all I got. I do have to throw in that Vanessa now has a Fans Toys Quake Wave and the Emperor Destruction Megatron, the KO MP Megatron. So it's kind of funny. He has guns now.
Cool.
He wants guns.
So I remember you were like hunting around for the solid hand.
I wasn't. It's not even that I was hunting around for it. This is how fucking deranged I am, Jed. Like if there's a piece of a figure, like, or some sort of accessory or some shit that I know I'm never going to use ever, it could still bother me if I know that I don't have it because my figure is incomplete. This all ties into Levy. This all ties into why I can't give you those torso fillers, because that will make me fucking insane to the point where, and I would never tell you that I did it, but I would probably, if I felt bad enough and like, man, my friend really wants these and I don't really need them, and then I'd give them to you, it would drive me nuts to the point where behind your backs, and I would never tell you this, I would sell my set off and then I would have to buy a new box set because the torso fillers are missing, and that's what came with them. I can't have an incomplete. It drives me fucking insane, dude. I know they're completely unnecessary. It's like Bumblebee. Like Bumblebee comes with the extra the side view mirror or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but it's an extra, right? Well, if I lost the first one and had to put the second one in, now the second one's missing. Now he's fucking incomplete, and that would drive me fucking crazy.
Did you watch that video I posted about like 2 weeks ago about that girl who was watching the guy put the pieces in the box, each like shape through the shape hole,
and he was when I'm all, yeah. See, that didn't bother me at all.
That didn't bother you? Oh,
yeah.
See that?
That didn't that didn't bother me one bit.
Shit was hilarious.
Nah, that didn't. It was funny because right after the second one, like from there on in, I knew they were all going in the same fucking hole and shit. And it didn't. I was, as a matter of fact, not only did it not bother me, I was rooting for him. I'm like, dude, put it in the same fucking hole, man. Put it in the same hole.
That's right.
I don't care if you need it.
Put the arch. We're gonna put the arch in the. That's right. You guessed it. The square
hole.
She's like,
yeah, no, that to me, that was just a guy getting the job done. So it's like, it's them pieces are all going to end up in the same place. It don't matter what way it goes through. It's just going to go through. It's just to do being creative. So, that kind of shit didn't bother me.
But having that side view mirror, I gotta have it, right?
Side view mirror in the side view mirror sitting in the little tiny, like the little gram weed baggie that they send that kind of shit in. And yeah, that's that being in some box buried in the closet. Yeah, man. So anyways, that's why I was looking for those hands, because there was a couple shockwaves on, and I'm like, well, she's gonna have this in gun mode most of the time. So you're never even gonna fucking see the hands. They could be, green for all anybody else cares, because you're never gonna fucking see them. But if I'm getting this and I'm paying whatever $180 for or whatever, I better have all the damn parts. So I was like asking all these people if they had the extra hand, because I know I got it and nobody had it, and I was like not buying it on purpose. I'm like, I'm not buying any of these. Nobody has the extra hand. And then somewhere along the lines, I found out that it was like, you know how they do in the second run of Ferocious? They did the same thing with Quake Wave, and I can't remember if it was the first run or the second run. I think the second run might have actually had the hands and the extra laser in, and all the ones that were on there were like first run, which is why they were not included. So when I found out it was a first run and it never,
no, I think
the
they
extra
sold
the opaque.
Yeah, they sold it separately.
The opaque hand levy.
They sold it separately, like as an accessory.
Mine came with. Oh, well, they might have also sold it. I'm not saying that they didn't, but mine definitely. When I bought my Quake Wave, it was included. But that might have been one of those things where they sold it separately as well. And then once I found out that that particular run didn't have the extra hand and laser, then I was completely cool with buying it. Even though either way, those hands were never going to see the light of day. It was just going into gun mode. Yeah. I mean, hey, we all have a sickness, right?
Indeed.
That is all I got. Gort, shout out to Gort. Gort hit me up on Saturday morning, and he actually found a Shockwave Action Master sealed, and he knew that I was collecting Action Masters now, so he thought maybe I would need it, and it was all good, and the price was good. But then he inspected it a little bit more, and it kind of it was like a water stain on the bottom part of the card, and it was something else. One of the other corners was like curled up and shit like that. But it was cool though. That's cool. Thank you thanks for thinking about me, at least, Gort. And then
just like someone thought about. Also, just like someone thought about Vanessa when she got her the Nickelback pick earrings.
Yo, so let's talk about that for a second, dude. Would one of you guys like to own up to it? Was it one of you guys?
No, it wasn't me.
Was it one of you guys, or do you know who did it?
Not a clue.
Nope.
So let me ask you guys this: have you ever done something like that? Like, did something on a DL and then just watched the oh yeah. The reason people do that shit to me is because they know that I'll make a big deal out of it. I'll take a picture of it and throw it up on a book and fucking call people names and all that. Like, so it's entertaining, but don't you want to like take credit for that at some point? Like after, it totally dies down, like, because the last couple of times this happens, the first like day or two would go by and everybody would laugh their asses off and I'd call everyone fucking nitwits and shit. And then like 2 or 3 days later, somebody would hit me up in a PM and be like, "Hey man, that was me." Like the place where I teach the photography classes, Ellen who is the co-owner of the studio, signed me up for the Nickelback email, like the email list. So I was getting like their fucking concert information, and I'm like, why is Nickelback fucking emailing me their concerts and like news and shit? So I said something about it. She ended up owning up to that like a couple days later, and it was awesome because if you ever met her, you would never see it coming, you know? So that was cool. But yeah, no one's owned up to these Nickelback earrings. And by the way, if you don't know what we're talking about, somebody mailed Vanessa a couple of days ago, mailed her guitar picks with pictures of Nickelback on it at her earrings, and they were addressed. And the reason we know it was somebody on Facebook is because they were an email to Vanessa Marie, and it's like she doesn't have her last name on the book, so it's got to be somebody on the book, but nobody's owned up to it yet, and it's not driving me crazy, but it's going to be awesome when I find out.
See, that's the best part about it, right? So not only is this the joke,
yeah,
but the other part is that where it's driving you insane little bit by little bit because you don't really know who
it is. It's low. I'll be completely honest with you. I wouldn't lie to you. If it was driving me extra nuts, I would say it because I would be hoping that whoever it was listening and we're getting even more entertainment out of it. But it's not. It's low. It's low on the scale. It's like low on the insanity scale, like a 1 or a 2.
See, if they were like, it's more. If they were smart, if they were smart, they would keep it rolling, right? So then next month she would get something else, and then the month after that, and then you would wonder who the fuck is this, and they still wouldn't say. Then it starts driving you nuts.
Jed, how about like an envelope shows up and it's addressed to Vanessa and it's a thong and it just on the crotch it says Nickelback partied here. That would be the one. That would be the one that would send me over the edge. I'd unfriend everybody. I'd have like 3 friends left on Facebook. And neither of you guys would be on that list anymore because you'd be suspects.
It would be like a picture frame butt plug that you could use. Look at this photograph.
Look at this photograph.
How many people on Facebook?
Like how much insane Nickelback shit? That's plenty.
That's easy.
Plenty.
You just look it up. Yeah, I can find it out, right? Yeah. It's not he's Michael Kincaid is very private.
You probably could. No, I don't know. Could you? I'm gonna Google my address right now.
Oh yeah, do it all the time.
I'm gonna be
when I first
straight up.
Yeah, when I first came to your place, I was like, oh shit, I don't know what the address was to put in the GPS, and you weren't like responding to IM, so I just looked it up real quick on Google, and then
how do you remove when I sent you yourself from that?
You probably have to email them, say, hey, I'll be taken off. You can do that actually.
Is it every fucking site you find it on, or can you just? Isn't there like a universal don't?
We gotta take it.
Put my fucking address on there.
No, I mean you gotta ask to get removed from like the Google Maps stuff. Then you have to get like if you want to use what's that, the phone book thing, White Pages. You have to get removed from White Pages. There's a couple other sites that do like indexing of people's addresses because it's public information. So if you get your number like unlisted, and I remember back in the day before people had cell phones, that was one way to do it. But now I think it's in a completely different database because it's based on each site. So there's a USPS database, but then there's also like, private information databases. So yeah, it'll take you a bit to get it done.
We'll find Rick Roberts' address. Me and Levy, we could go Jay and Silent Bob that motherfucker.
See, that one might be a little hard to track down. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of Rick Roberts out there, but there's not too many Michael King.
Even his real name.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to find too many, Levy Currys or Michael Kincaids or Jed Vargos. Those are easy to narrow down. Actually, there is another Jed Vargo in New York, so.
There's only one other. You want to hear something crazy? The other Michael Kincaid, if you look him up, he's a singer in a rock band. It's kind of wild.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm way better looking now. I'll be honest.
But I can honestly tell you that all being said, I didn't do it. It's a great joke, but
even if you couldn't,
it wasn't me.
even if you couldn't Google said address, like there's still if I look at all the people that have been over to my house that are friends with me on Facebook, or people that have bought shit off me that I had to mail them shit, have it, you know.
Yeah.
My dark horse pick was Tyler. I told her I think it's Tyler.
Even if you did remove your address and someone came to me and said, "Send this to Mike," I'd be like, "Oh yeah, here's his address."
Oh, I know you would. That was also something. That was also something I said to her. I'm like, it could be, if it's anybody from like the nerd community, it could be anyone, because I said that exact same thing. I was like, Jed, one of them guys would fucking give my address up because they know that I wouldn't be mad about it, you know, because there's some people you feel you got to ask them, but you knew I was, you knew I'd laugh at it, so it was like, yeah, it's good.
Like, do you want his phone number? Want his social security number? Let me know. If you want his license plate, I got it all.
Schedule.
He arrives home between this time.
I can tell you where he
keeps
keeps his spare key. Yeah, right. I'll receive those same, like, you know, we said we were gonna send Levy to black and white pics of him, like, you know, it'd be black and white pics of me like in the VR in my underwear playing Beat Saber.
See, we don't have to do that because you post that shit yourself.
Yeah, also true. Oh, and that brings me to a plug. Speaking of me and my underwear. So me and Tony finished a new cover song. We got this project. I don't even really know when the last time we did anything. It might have even been before the show started, because it's been a couple of years. But it's called the McCullen Project. We named it after Destro, and we just do some cover songs for fun. So we finished up "Eat the Rich" by Aerosmith, and we kind of put our own not twist on it, because we kind of play the arrangement how it is, but we just, you know, we played it like we play it. And we had some fun making some like cinematic little.
You and Tony did "Mom's Gonna Knock You Out," and then you used that music for the opening, like back when we started the show.
I did. Yeah.
And then I think you did you did the
oh, that's right. Yeah.
Wait, what was it? Shit. Yeah, the Transformer one after that was like about a year after.
No, the Transformer one was before. That was the first one. Then LL, and then the Motley one was last. Louder Than Hell, okay. Or Hotter Than Hell. Wait, which one did we do?
Oh,
Louder
right, with the
Hell?
kids.
Yeah, Louder Than Hell. Yeah. That was a fun video, man. I look back, I watch out every once in a while, man. The kids were fucking pretty good, man. Tony's kid could play his ass off. Tony's kid plays the drums. Well, you saw the video, even though he wasn't playing, it looked like he was playing everything right on the money, like his dad was doing. But this dude, I don't know if I ever sent you guys clips, but this kid plays the shit out of the keyboard, man. Like, he played, I'll have to send you clips if I didn't, but Tony sent me a clip of him playing the Evil Empire music, like the Imperial March, and then he played the Johnny Depp is the pirate. What the fuck was his name, man? Or what was the Pirates of the Caribbean? He played the Pirates of the Caribbean music, and it was like, you'd be surprised. Like, this kid's a young kid, and he only, like, Tony said he went on the internet and just started watching like tutorial videos and started picking it up like nothing. Yeah, like I like 99% of me is like super psyched because I love the kid and it's so cool to see him doing it. And the 1% of me is like super pissed, man, because he picked it up so easy. And like, like he picked up what I picked up in like 10 years. You know what I mean? Like in 1 year. Crazy.
Reminded me, I saw a guy play a fretless guitar on YouTube the other day. And I was like, how the hell are you doing that?
It's wild, man.
Yeah.
It still does it still at least have the dots on it?
Yeah.
It still has the, okay. So at least that's there.
On the top. Well, not on the front, but like on the top of the neck, you know, not on the neck.
Right. Yeah, just to give you like just a basic idea where you're at, because if they're not there, then I mean, yeah, that's, I don't know, crazy shit, man. There's a lot of I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube of a lot of kids, young kids playing way better than I'll ever play. Like, it's like you get fucked up enough, man. You're watching these kids and it's like, I'm quitting and I'm burning all my shit tomorrow. And then you wake up the following day and you're like, yeah, it's cool. There's a lot of talented fucking kids out there, but this kid is one of those kids, man. I'm telling you, I'll send you videos. You'd be blown away. But
Cool.
yes. So, but that being said, where was I going with that? Oh, it was the kids playing the Motley song. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a good time. But yeah, we did Eat the Rich, and we shot mostly video, but then we did like some cinematic, had some fun with some cinematic shit in the middle, mixed in, and we shot it with our phones on purpose, waiting for everybody to. I was waiting for Nate to bust my balls, like, dude. But we did it all cell phones because Tony only had a cell phone, so I did cell phone to match quality, so it all kind of looked cohesive and stuff. But it was a good time. And like Levy said, it was topical. Like we ended up picking the right one to do first, even though we started planning it out months ago because of all the stock market fun with all with the rich people getting fucking ripped off and then whining about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all for me. You guys want to move on to the news?
Yeah. All right. Did you guys hear that Larry died? He was 78 years old.
Larry who?
Larry Flint.
Oh, for real? Larry Flint was only 78?
Yeah, I thought he had died already too, like a couple of years ago, but I guess he didn't.
The Flint Mandela effect.
Yeah. So for people who don't know who he is, he's an American publisher of Hustler, magazine. He was
everybody that listens to this show knows what that is.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Geez, how long ago was that movie with him and with Woody Harrelson and Ed Norton? That was like.
Why was I thinking Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise.
Because you're born on the 4th of July. He's in the wheelchair too.
Oh, right.
Tom Cruise as Larry Flint.
Oh man. You know what, Jed? We better get this show moving.
Yeah. I mean, Tom Cruise has played pretty much everything, so I could see him trying to be a freaking, American publisher next. Yeah. Tom Cruise is Larry Flint.
Who played him in that movie, though?
Woody Harrelson.
Was it Woody Harrelson? Yeah, that's right. It was Woody Harrelson. Okay.
Wow, I was way off.
It was weird because I was kind of thinking Matthew McConaughey.
Close. Yeah, I can see how you confuse the two. So he died of heart failure. 78 years old.
Wow. He was famously
Plummer.
Paralyzed.
What's that?
I said he was famously shot and paralyzed.
That's
in case
true.
People didn't know. Yeah, someone didn't like the fact that he published porn, I guess. Called him indecent and offensive.
Christopher Plummer died. He was 91. He was in The Sound of Music.
Who is that?
Christopher Plummer. You see a picture of him, you know who he is. He's in everything.
Did you see the movie Knives Out?
I'm looking him up.
Won an Oscar in 2012. He died from complications from a fall.
Complications from a fall.
Yeah.
Speaking of falls, do you have Ashley Judd in the news?
I don't.
Judd?
I do not.
I don't have that.
I don't.
Oh, okay. I'll have to mention that in a minute.
Dustin Diamond. I have him. Screech. Dustin Diamond. He was 44. He died from small cell carcinoma.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I didn't hear too many good things about Screech. Like a lot of people said he was a real peckerhead, but that's still sad, man. Anybody dying at 44, that's just too fucking young.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the last person I got was his name was Mark Wilmore. He's 50. He was 57. He was mostly a screenwriter, but he was also like an actor in Living Color. He was the dude with he had the space between his teeth. Guys, I don't know if you see a picture of him, like when you remember from In Living Color, he's like one of the cast members.
Who's
he
this?
wrote, his name was Mark Wilmore.
What's his name again?
Oh.
Mark Wilmore.
Yeah.
He wrote and starred in Living Color, and he years. And he was writing for F is for Family, and he had won an Emmy in 2008. He actually died from COVID. And he was 57.
Oh shit! Yeah, I remember. I remember this dude.
Yeah.
And Living Color, man, that was money, dude. When that came out, remember that shit?
More money, and more
Yeah. So this is funny. It ties in a little bit. Vanessa has all her pictures on her phone are organized, and she has a whole folder of pictures of me on her phone. And she was scrolling through, and she got to this one, and she opened it, and I was sleeping, and my lip was stuck up. Like, imagine your lip is curled in, and then it's stuck to your teeth. You know, if you get a picture of that, right? And she pulls it up on her phone, and she goes, "Let me tell you something." Fucking fire marshal Bill, dude. She had me fucking died, man. That was classic. There was a lot of good classic bits on that show.
Oh yeah, there was the guys, the snap in the Z formation.
Hated it.
There was the what did
Jim Carrey is the bodybuilder chick.
Yeah. I was just I forget what her name was, like Brunhilde or some shit like that. He always wore that pink tutu.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was tons of shit from that. But that's all the people that died that I have. We move on to trailers.
Well, before you move on, speaking of how you said Christopher Plummer, Different Complications of the Fall, Ashley Judd almost lost her leg after breaking it in 4 places.
Thanks.
In the Democratic Republic of Congo, she was doing conservation work there.
So, what did you say about her leg again?
She shattered it in 4 places and is suffering from and has nerve damage, like permanent nerve damage. She almost lost her leg.
She shouldn't go back to those 4 places. I don't get any respect. No respect. So she fell from a cliff or some shit? Fell from a horse or?
I don't think it says here. It doesn't say how she damaged, at least, or broke her leg, at least not in this article. But it was from a catastrophic fall in the Congo rainforest.
Wow.
So that's all I'm saying about it. So, and we all know who Ashley Judd is, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah,
I do. I'm sorry. I was just thinking of fucking. I was just thinking of God damn it, Al Pacino from fucking Heat when he did that line. He's like, because she got a great ass, and you got her head all the way up in
it. Shit.
So, which trailer you guys want to talk about first?
You pick.
Let me go back and look at. All right, I will.
Did you watch
I'm just
them
going to
this
go
time,
back
Levy?
and look at which ones.
Yes, I watched them.
Let's see. Oh, jeez. Let's talk about. There's only 5 to pick from. Let's talk about Pacific Rim.
The Black.
Yeah. Right. So I didn't realize it was an animation when I clicked on the thumbnail. I was just assuming new regular Pacific. And by the way, there's an Atlantic Rim on Netflix, I think. Did you know that?
No.
No. It's fucking horrendous. We watched it for like 5 minutes and we didn't know what the fuck we were watching, so we turned it off. But anyway, I thought this was going to be another Pacific
from that production company called Asylum, who makes all those terrible mockbuster movies.
Transmorphers. Yeah.
So I clicked on it and I was pleasantly surprised to see it was animation and it looked pretty damn good. I don't know how it's going to tie into the Pacific Rim story that we already know, but it looks like it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's going to be years later after this last movie.
Yeah. I'm pretty picky when it comes to animation, like Japanese animation in particular. And like there's two like when I could tell like within 5 minutes if I'm going to be sticking around to see if I like something or not. And it's like, you know how there's on one end of the spectrum, you got like the Bloodlust and Castlevania, you know, that type of shit. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you got that like, I don't know, where the characters are all really like animated out, like with the really big eyeballs and little mouths, and everybody's got a high pitched voice, and it's just fucking annoying. And like, no matter how good the action might be, it takes me out of it. And it's like, it's not like
it's all the girls with the different color hairs are going, Konnichiwa,
right? Like, yeah, you know. And me and Vanessa were actually talking about it the other night because I can't remember what we were watching, but it was like it was cool. But it's like, yeah, this animation's cool. That other animation, she's like, yeah, it's fucking childish. And I'm like, well, I don't know if childish is the way to put it, because it's all cartoons, but yeah, it's like childish. And I'm glad to see some animation that's not, and this falls into that category. Like, it looks pretty good.
Are you talking about like the chibi style?
Yeah, like when it gets too chibi.
Over chibi?
Yeah, when it's over chibied.
Legend of the Over Chibi.
Yeah. I can tell you right now, me being downstairs might be cool for sound quality, but the only disadvantage is that now the dog and the cat are going to be going at it again. But I guess we're used to that.
BNS show without it.
Right.
Yeah.
Go on, tell them how pissed off you are, Rogue. Go ahead, tell them. Tell them how pissed you are.
Oh, speaking of animation, did you start watching Attack on Titan?
No, because I went on Hulu where we watched the first 3 seasons, and they're up to like episode 8 with the original Japanese. Yeah, but there's no, I didn't see any English ones up there yet, because I did say something to her, because I think you said they're up to like they're 2 or 3 in, right?
Oh no, they're at I can tell it's either 4 or 5 now.
Well, yeah, now, but at the time when we tried to watch it, it was like I thought it would be 2 or 3, but yeah, not on there yet. Not on there. I don't know where.
Yeah, 5.
Crunchyroll. You think it'd be on Crunchyroll?
That's who's
Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's English.
Funi or
Funimation.
Yeah,
I know it's on Funimation.
One of the studios is the one that backs the English dubbing. So
okay.
The one it's on, but yeah, there are on as of the 8th. That's was that Monday? They were on episode 5.
Okay, cool. And you're watching in English or Japanese?
Japanese, but I'm pulling down the English ones too, because I want to hear the voice acting and stuff like that too, because Matthew Mercer does a couple of characters for that show.
You know what? It is funny about the Japanese versus English. Like we were telling DJ about this. We were having that conversation actually with DJ in the room about like animation styles, and he's the exact opposite. He likes that goofy fucking goofball animation style. But I was explaining to him like about Bloodlust. I was like, man, like artistically speaking, Bloodlust is head and shoulders above all kinds of shit out there, and he never watched either of the Vampire Hunter D. So I just quick did a Google search to see where I could watch one online, and there was one on YouTube, but it was in Japanese. And actually reading it, knowing that movie already, but then reading it, there's a lot of shit that was different. A lot of the lines and stuff that were different than when they were in English.
Do you think the first Vampire Hunter D still holds up? Because that animation is kind of it's because it is still like 80s, I think it came out.
Yeah. I think this is what I always say: Bloodlust artistically blows the fucking doors off. It's not even close. But
right,
I still feel like the original still holds up. It's like all that, like even Fist of the North Star. Like if you watch Fist of the North Star's animation, like the early shit, the movie and stuff, that's a little goofy at this point too. But it just, maybe it's more of a nostalgia kind of charm. Like I definitely don't watch it and think, oh, this sucks. But looking at the shit that's coming out now, the Attack on Titans and Castlevania and Voltron, and it's not even close. But I guess it's still good. Like it's still decent.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to pick like one to watch, like I think I'd rather watch the second one if I had to choose between one or the other.
I know that especially with like the Pacific Rim trailer, you can see that like the CGI animation is coming closer to hand. getting there. They're not there just yet, but they are getting closer with stuff.
Yeah.
And I've been following this one artist, and I can't remember what his name is, but he's been doing his own like anime, and he's using it all Blender and stuff. And it's funny how you see like these gray mesh like blobs that he uses for like stuff, and then once he textures it, it looks like, you know, hand-drawn animation, and it's looks really good. He was actually just featured in a Japanese magazine on animation, and it's just surprising. Like, if you know what you're doing as an animator, it translates well to CGI. But when you don't know what the fuck you're doing as an animator, like, you know, the last Transformers series, it just doesn't translate right. You know, it doesn't look right. It's
right.
Like the style doesn't blend. And I think that's the problem. I think there's a lot of animators out there that just don't know what the fuck they're doing with animation, period. But they know what they're doing with 3D stuff. It's just they don't know how to marry the two.
I agree with you 100%, because I saw a lot of that in like when I was going through school, like with I mean, it's not the same thing, but it's similar. Like people that had computer ability, like ability in the programs, technical ability. But if you handed them a pencil and paper and told them to draw something, they were fucking lost. And I feel like a lot of the people that were still able to draw and paint and do all that, like more traditional art styles, always helped out immensely. Like when it came to going digital, because it wasn't just because then having the tools ain't giving you any talent, but the other way around, if you have the talent and then you get your hands on the technology, then it's money.
Right.
Did we
so
lose
what's the next trailer? Levy there?
Yeah.
What's in what trailer you want to talk about, Levy?
I'm not sure. Why did it go away? All right.
You're gonna pick something that's not there.
How about
Tom Cruise? Top Gun.
Marvel's Behind the Mask?
Oh, okay, that's a good one. That means you have to talk about it, Levy.
Oh, okay. I just picked it because it was at the top of the list. Yeah, it looks cool.
Wow.
Nice little behind the scenes look at Marvel characters.
Did you read the
doing that thing? Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Remember back in school when you had to read a book and then you had to like talk about it, and you just read like the little thing that's on the back of the book that like basically gives you the it's like, yeah, I read it, and you just read the shit off the back of the book.
Honestly, like behind the scenes stuff like this is really doesn't interest me all that much.
Not at all.
Oh, really?
Not really.
Did you get into any of the like the toys that made us? You get any of that
Nope.
shit?
Nope.
None of it.
I watched I watched the obligatory Transformers episode, but I had no interest in watching the others.
Because you felt you were supposed to.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh man, see, I was blown away by a lot of the shit that I didn't know. Like it being a fan for how old are we? 40, so almost yeah, fucking A, man. It's a lot of years. We're old, dude. Being a fan for that long, since age 8 or whatever, and then watching that shit and finding out a bunch of shit you didn't know, it was like surprising to me how much I didn't know. And that was interesting. I guess
I had to be in the mood for that. I don't know. Just this particular one doesn't really seem to float my boat.
Yeah.
I might watch it if I'm bored. I don't know.
Did you ever watch like stuff with DVD commentaries?
Very rarely. There was one. Actually, there's really only one commentary that I really even remember ever watching, which was the Black Dynamite commentary. I watched that all the way through and was absolutely engrossed the whole time. So it's fantastic commentary. So, which, I mean, Black Dynamite's a fantastic movie. So everyone should watch Black Dynamite. One of the greatest movies ever. One of the greatest movies ever.
Jed, that actually reminded me of one thing, because I know I texted you about it, but I didn't actually get to talk to you about it. Black Dynamite made me think of Leon Phelps. I sent you that clip of that official a while ago. How on the money was that?
What was that?
The official, the NFL official that sounded like the ladies' man.
Oh yeah, it sounded just like him. Yeah, Holden, number 42.
Senor penalty.
We are gathered here today.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Jed, did you ever watch the Black Dynamite animated series?
No, you told me to, and I never did.
Oh, yeah.
And I haven't got
Fantastic.
around to it. Yeah.
They had a cannonball run style race called Race War.
Race one.
It was fun, and all the driving teams were like awful racial stereotypes. It was funny.
I put that video in the Discord, but that guy I was talking about on Twitter, it's Gensho Yasuda is his account name. But if you play that, that's all done in Blender 3D CGI. All of it's not hand drawn at all, and it looks amazing.
I'm watching it right now.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah, see, that's cool, man. And you know what? That's like got the buggy-eyed little mouth anime style, but it still looks really fucking good though.
Yeah, it does.
Jed, we played Let's Go Crazy. Angel Down did. And so we played everything a step down in D because it would make the higher vocals easier to hit, not like on that song, but just like our entire set list in particular. So instead of all of us, when we were learning songs, having to play all, like, have different guitars tuned to different tunings and shit, I would take all the songs and tune everything down to D. That way you could listen to our entire song list and practice along with the whole thing straight through. And I did that to Let's Go Crazy, and I tuned it down a step, and Prince sounded like Ving Rhames. like the speech in like when they got their gimp, like after they escaped the gimp shop. I'm gonna have to dig it up. I'm gonna dig it up and send it to you. You laugh your ass off. You got a picture of like Ving Rhames saying it when you listen, and this shit's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right, so you're my turn for the trailer.
We didn't even talk about that, by the way. The trailer.
Top Gun 2. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. How good does that look? Doesn't it look great?
Yeah, it looks really good. It looks really good.
Funny too. It's always good when Marvel throws in a little bit of humor into the the mix for this, especially when it's kind of like a buddy cop movie type of thing that they're doing with these two. Yeah. It's going to be great.
Yeah, Marvel does a good job of that in everything, man, in the movies and everything. Keeps it. Yeah. They do some dark fucking shit, but they find a way to keep it light a lot of times, which is all right. Yeah,
I'm excited for this series. Can't wait.
Yeah, and it starts like a week after, or like 2 weeks after WandaVision ends.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say about it. I'm wondering what the big thing is gonna be, because there was that was gonna lead to me talking about WandaVision, and I figured we would save that for after the trailers.
We can talk about it now. I mean, but I know there's a rumor going around that they're saying that one series is going to go right into the other, and that there is a non-production reported episode that's supposed to be in WandaVision. So even though it's said that's supposed to be like 8 or 9 episodes, they're going to do like one. There's like one extra hidden one or something.
Yeah.
That's a rumor anyway. But I'm assuming everyone's watched the new episode from last week, right?
Yeah. But did the new one come out today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched it already.
Yeah, that one I didn't. I'm out of the loop on that one, but I did get the last one.
Well, I mean, we could talk about the reveal from last week. That's been around for.
I have so many questions. Number one. Well, okay, so Quicksilver. So the first thing I did when that happened was I was like, wait a second. Which Quicksilver? Who played who? And I'm like, no, wait, man. He was from the X-Men. He was from the other universe or whatever. So the first thing that pops into my head is like, is this how they start is this how it starts? Is this how they start pulling in, you know, X-Men and other characters that aren't yet in the universe?
Maybe.
And it feels too obvious, but that's what I'm hoping for. But it just feels too obvious.
Well, I mean, they are basing WandaVision around like all the different decades of sitcoms. And, you know, sitcoms were well known to like, you know, replace characters with different actors.
Right.
I mean, look at shit.
Bewitched.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good example. Yeah. Darren always got what was the three different
There was two Darrens.
two Darrens? Okay.
Yep. Dick York and I can't remember the other guy. But Roseanne also had a cast member change.
I never watched that.
With Becky, the oldest daughter.
Oh.
Sarah Chalk took over the role in like the final season.
So
but
you
then
think
they also switched back and forth between the two of them, which was weird.
So you're saying that it could, there's a possibility it's just a red herring.
And
before you answer that, are any of your answers going to give anything away about this episode? Like this shit happened in this episode that you don't want me to know yet, so you're not.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. I was trying to pick my words carefully.
Yeah, I can feel it.
I'd say that. Well, Disney owns the rights to those characters now, so they can do whatever they.
Right.
You know, throwing in. You know, is it that they're did they write it that way, or did like what was that dude's name? Aaron Taylor Thomas or whatever the fuck his name is.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Or was he just busy, you know, filming like Tenet at the time and didn't have the time to film those parts?
If unless you're talking some shit that you know, if you're really asking me that, I would think I wouldn't think so. Like I would think that I don't know, and it would be a weird choice to actually use Evan Peters if that was the case. Like then they should just use somebody completely unrelated. But the fact that they used a Quicksilver from the other universe is just, you know.
Well, it
feels purposeful.
Based on the rumors that's going around for all these, the next Spider-Man movie, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, it's all going to be different multiverse stuff. So, you know, it fits. It could be like the beginning of the story fits into like the whole multiverse stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it probably is written that way. But is it necessarily him from that's the question.
Well, the other question I have is like, let's put ourselves in this situation. Let's say I have a sister or you have a sister, right? You grew up around her. I don't know how old Quicksilver, I don't know what age they're supposed to be, but I mean like they've known each other since birth, right? And then some weird shit happens where your sister shows up from some other universe, but it doesn't look like your sister. Mm-hmm. Would you find that kind of odd? And how would you even recognize her to begin with? Like it would just look like some other chick cosplaying your sister at that point.
I can't comment on that because this episode came out today answers that question.
Okay. All right. Damn. All right. I wish I would have been able to get it in.
So the other question though too is, Mike, do you think it is Quicksilver, or do you think it's like the rumors going around that, you know, the bad guy in this series, Mephisto? Yeah, it might be him in disguise.
I was hearing, I should just stay the fuck off of social media because, like, I kept hearing about Mephisto and I wasn't really putting two and two together. That because I was thinking, well, why are they even talking about Mephisto? Like, what does he have to do with anything? You know?
It's just a guess.
Yeah, but it seems like
it's been a long-standing rumor or fan theory that Mephisto's involved somehow.
I don't know, man.
They're going from like House of M to like a very magic, occult-oriented type of theme to multiverse. You know, it's like all these different possibilities that they haven't really like clued in on yet. So I think these next 3 or possibly 4 episodes is going to kind of start answering a lot of those questions.
Yeah.
Because some people are saying, oh, you know, everyone's dead, or it's a reality thing with, Scarlet Witch, or it's a Mephisto nightmare type of situation. You guys remember Nightmare, bad guy from Ghost Rider and stuff. Could be anything like that. It could be a multi. It could be. Those are the three big ones. So,
I hope they don't lean on the multiverse thing too much, because I feel sometimes when there's all these like other realities going on, shit gets a little convoluted. You know, like I like when they use it sparingly. The concept.
The whole Marvel Cinematic Universe thing was, it was like, so here we're going to take all these individual movies, combine them together, and now we're going to cross over, just like they used to do in the comics.
Yeah.
And here's your cinematic universe, right? Well, now I think it's going to be a studio thing, where it's a crossover between studios. That's what I think they're leaning at. I 100% think that's what they're going to do the next 5 years. So it's the Sony thing with Spider-Man. It's going to be all the old Spider-Mans together. It's going to be a Spider-Verse thing. They're going to bring in characters from previous like iterations, and just kind of spin it all together. There was another rumor I read that Chris Evans will be back, but he played the Human Torch, you know, in
wow,
Doctor
that would
Strange.
be weird. Yes, that would be weird.
Stuff like that.
I don't know that I like it, that particular idea, but if that is the case, I could see that leading to Secret Wars at some point.
Which they are going to be doing the scroll thing. So
yeah,
that is going to be a series. But in WandaVision too, like a lot of people, but in the whole, like, you know, last episodes, they've been talking about this astrophysicist they're going to meet up with.
Yeah.
And that could be anybody. That could be Reed Richards. That could be, forget what that one other scientist guy is named. Freaking, but it could be a bunch of different characters that they would start, you know, pulling into things now.
I'm going to tell you this much. The last episode that I saw, the most horrifying scene in the entire episode was when they sent the drone in, and then like she came out with the drone, like outside the little like barrier and shit like that. And it was the way it was shot and the way it was acted and shit was so good. Like that was fucking horrifying. Like how you know how scary like a chick with that amount of power, like reality warping power, and then she's insane on top of it, and then she's pissed off on top of that. Like that might be the scariest goddamn thing on the planet. See, you know where I'm coming from, Jed.
Yeah, I do. I'm just glad my wife doesn't have reality warping powers.
I was gonna say that's the missing that's the one missing ingredient that keeps everybody safe.
Speaking of, that's a good segue. What about the Nevers trailer?
Wait a second. I know I watched it, but what did I see? Refresh my memory real quick.
So Victorian England.
Yeah.
Powers.
Were they all
intrigued by it?
Were they all women that got the powers? Is that
I
what
don't
you
know
said?
if it's just women, but
okay.
those two women were like, they looked to be the main characters, and apparently they had some sort of powers.
Well, it was like it looked like some shit gave him some power. It was like the Terrigen mist.
It was like an eclipse. It's kind of like very much like a Wild Cards story.
Yeah,
which was a book by George R.R. Martin. There was an eclipse, and during the eclipse, there were a lot of people just started getting like superhuman powers.
Call me crazy, but I was catching like an X-Men vibe off of it.
Yeah, same
because
thing.
of the whole, like, you know, they were talking about how they were looking at everybody that were getting the powers as like it was like a condition, you know, and it was like
right.
That was very X-Men-esque.
Yep. Yeah, that looks cool.
Yeah.
Wasn't Levy? Wasn't it the Josh Whedon vehicle, and he got booted from that? I think.
Yeah, that you're right. That he was originally involved, and then he stepped away from the project, probably under pressure because of the Ray Palmer or whatever his name is from the guy who played Cyborg, because of the investigation and his allegations of misconduct.
Yep, I actually have that part of the news as well.
Yeah.
And we have the other trailer with M. Night Shyamalan. It's Old.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think of that?
Eh.
Yeah.
That's
what I said.
I mean, for the most part, I mean, M. Night Shyamalan. I mean, I did really like what's it called? Split. I did like that movie, but
that was a good movie.
It still suffered from the same problems that most M. Night Shyamalan movies suffer from, which is like just the overly self-indulgent dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like people don't talk like that. You know,
the worst one was the what was that movie with the people in the apartment with the pool and the shit.
Lady in the Water.
That's it. That one was the worst one I think out of all the dialogue problem.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like especially like when he writes children. Children don't talk like that. he writes them to talk like adults. And
I find that creepy when a little kid in a movie talks like an adult.
Yeah. That's
scary too. It is, because that's the kind of kid that like murder you in your sleep.
I keep thinking of the little girl from Dune, from the 80s movie Dune.
Yeah.
You guys watch that?
No.
Yeah.
The original?
What?
It was Paul Atreides' like little sister. And she was like going, and how can this be? For you, the Quizerat Haderach. And you're like, damn, that little girl's like 6. She shouldn't know those words.
Yeah. I mean, in some way, sometimes it works, but then other times it comes across as like really, really weird.
Yeah. I didn't like his last movie. Was it Glass? I didn't like that very much either.
I haven't seen Glass yet, which was, you know, a continuation of Split.
Mm-hmm.
And
Unbreakable.
Right.
I thought it was all right. I thought that one was all right.
For Split.
How many years ago did that come out? 3?
Yeah.
Oh, 3 or 4.
Yeah, maybe M. Night Shyamalan's probably like a one-trick pony, maybe. His directing, writing type of like, what a twist. And then...
What a twist.
That's all you got.
Yeah.
I feel like he like blew his load on The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
And then never got back there.
I liked Unbreakable. I thought that was good.
Yeah, it was decent, but
I don't think he ever reached the same heights as he did with Sixth Sense. I don't think he ever lived up to expectations afterwards. I mean, you're right. Unbreakable, I really did enjoy Unbreakable. But that was the last one for me, I think, because I hated Signs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never saw Lady in the Water. Hated The Village. The Happening was just hot garbage.
Oh, that was terrible.
You know, Last Airbender was he took one of my favorite TV shows and just shit all over it. So yeah, and then I think with Split he achieved a bit of the same success that he had with Unbreakable.
Yeah, but I would say the acting carried a lot of that in Split.
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely.
Like if you didn't have a good actor,
it wasn't the script,
right?
So, but yeah, I've never been too big of a fan of Shyamalan. Like I said, I think he had a good resurgence with Split, but you know, a lot of stuff before that, and pretty much I think everything after has not really been anything of interest to me. Other than Glass, I'd still like to see Glass. I just haven't gotten around to seeing it yet, but I haven't heard good things.
So, The Stand ended. That's over. So the 9 episodes of the series is done. It actually ended pretty well. Levy, I don't know if you watched
I haven't actually watched any of the episodes yet.
Yeah, they're all there. So whenever you're ready, it was actually a decent series. It kept my interest as I watched it.
Yeah. We did start watching Resident Alien, and holy shit, that show's funny.
Isn't it? It's hilarious.
Show's so funny. April loves it too.
I never knew it was based on a comic book.
Oh, really?
I got to check out the actual books.
I love when he was waiting for the kid in the alleyway. It starts just fucking just like going back and forth with him.
I'm a stupid alien. I think like, everyone talks this way. Yeah.
I was just testing you to see if you knew there were no towers in town.
I think we live in medieval times. I'm a dumb alien.
Have you heard of that show, Mike? Resident Alien?
Yeah, we watched the trailer for this show a while back, but I wasn't all that into it based on the trailer anyway.
It's funny. Speaking about, I told you like there's a couple of weeks ago, but did you start watching The Terror yet?
Not yet.
Oh,
not yet.
Because it's up there, like waiting for you.
My when I was out getting tattooed, my artist actually said, because we're always bullshitting about shows and stuff, and he's like, yeah, we just watching The Terror, and I'm like, oh, dude. I said, I got to get on that soon, man. I'm like, we were just talking about that too.
Yeah.
And he gave it a pretty solid recommendation as well.
I also found all the cartoons. That's there too, if you guys, and all the Inhumanoids, Centurions.
Oh, Centurions,
and all the Inhumanoids.
Yeah, I have a real funny story about Centurions. Back when Centurions was airing on TV, my mom used to watch it because my mom loved to watch cartoons. And you know how G.I. Joe had little PSAs at the end?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Centurions apparently had little PSAs too. And I don't remember what the episode was or if it had anything to do with psychic powers, but in the PSA, one of the Centurion guys was talking about psychic powers and how there are just mysteries out in the world that you don't, that no one can fully understand. And there are people born with mystical abilities all the time, and or some shit like that, right? And my dad just happened to be sitting in the room while she was watching it, and he heard this, and he just flew off the handle. Just flew off the handle. Like, what are they trying to teach kids these days? That there are psychics out there? That there are, people with abilities or powers? What kind of stupid shit is this? And my mom is just like, Fred, it's just a cartoon.
Yeah, Fred. Hey, Fred, let the kid have powers.
They're telling kids that there are people out there with psychic powers. That people out there reading their minds. It was so funny.
Jesus, again, only imagine if you watch the opening of Defenders.
What?
If you ever watch the opening of Defenders of the Earth, it's like Master of Magic, Spells and Illusion.
Mandrake. Well, no, I mean, he understands still that cartoons were cartoons, but like because it was a PSA, it was talking to children directly.
Oh.
And that's what he had a problem with, and saying, because they were trying to tell children that there really are people out there in the world that can do these things. And he's like
Uri Geller, right? Or Uri,
Uri Geller, bending spoons with the power of his mind.
What did the Centurions PSA? How did it end? Did they have the more you know, knowing's half the battle type?
I don't even remember. I don't remember a single episode of that show. I just remember my dad going off on that one PSA because I wasn't even paying attention to the PSA. I just gleaned what it was about, just listening to my dad bitch about it. So, but yeah, that's the only memory I have of the Centurions cartoon.
You're emotionally scarred from it.
Oh man, just I've never seen my dad go off about a cartoon like that before or since.
What the hell is this Dora shit? They're teaching these kids Spanish now?
Oh, come on, no, it's not like that. I don't think. I mean, he is a Republican. I'm kidding, Republicans.
There's always going to be that one guy that brings politics into it. You know what, Mike?
I'm telling you, man.
Can't even get away from our own podcast. So that's it for the trailers. I got news. If you guys want to do the news.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I've been waiting like all episodes to talk about this. This is fantastic. So
yeah.
I read this article a couple days ago and I laughed my fucking ass off to the point where my wife had to wonder what the fuck was I laughing so much about. Right. So there's this video game It's called Elite Dangerous. And for those who do not know what it is a online, like multi. It's like an MMO, but it's a space simulator. So in Elite, there's all these different things you can do. You can either explore, or you can, go and fight battles, with other wingmen or whatever. You can do like trading. You can like buy narcotics at one place, sell it higher at the other type of situation, do things for factions. And there's also like mining, and you can like go into asteroid belts and you can like mine for things like different alloys or, things and like, sell them. Well, a few months ago, they included this new option in it where you can get these big giant fleet carriers. Like if you have enough money, you can buy a giant like aircraft carrier type of thing in space, and you have all your friends and you load it up, and basically this thing can go like, hundreds of like light years away, whereas like your smaller ships can only go so far, and then you have to make sure that you either get a fuel scoop and then you get your fuel back and then you can get back to the port or whatever, right? so they had a sale on, I don't know, maybe a couple of months ago, where Elite was like dirt cheap. It was like $5 or whatever, and all these kids bought it, right? Mm-hmm. And all these videos on YouTube basically tell you that if you want to get money quick, you go into the asteroid belts, you mine for these like opals, which is basically like kind of like a pearl thing or whatever, right? And you get all these opals and you go back to the station, you cash them in for millions, and you can get rich quick, and you basically can buy ships and weapons and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So there's been like these gangs of people that have been approaching all these kids saying, hey, you guys want help earning money? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, well, if you come with us on our, carrier, we're going to the belt and we're going to mine, and we all split it and we get this cash for it. And they're like, oh, okay. So they've been getting all these new players and these, mostly these like, kids, and they've been putting them into these press gangs where they take them out to a belt and they can't get back on their own too far out. And the only way they can get back is if they blow their own ship up, and they force them to work in the mining fucking of the asteroid belts to get all these opals. And then they fucking leave them out there and they fucking go cash it in. And then they go get more players and they press gang them into doing it again, and they're out there with all the other players that are stuck out there.
Slavery racket. And
yeah, it's just this big press gang of new players getting slaved.
How are you getting slaved in a video game, man? Come on.
Funny. It's so funny because like you can get out of it by blowing up your ship. Right?
You can get out of it by logging out of the game.
But no, when you log out and you log back in, you're in the same system.
No, I'm saying shut it off. If you're getting enslaved in a game, you're playing the wrong game.
Well, I mean, like you could like say you blow your ship up, but then you lose all your shit. You lose all your stuff that you've done and all your money and stuff. But yeah, they're just sitting there waiting and just working.
Imagine the enterprising individual who came up with this scheme.
There's like basically they intercept them and they go, hey, listen, we got a pyramid scheme going here. You start. and we'll give the money to you, and then you start your pyramid, and you get the money then too. And they're like, yeah, that sounds great. And they're like, all right. And then they take them out to some unknown area in the galaxy that they can never get back from, and they just leave them there to work.
So funny.
Hoping that one day that the master will return them back to port.
Hello? It's so fucked up, man.
Isn't it funny? God, it's hilarious. Because in the article, this kid got this whole thing happened to this kid. He said to his dad, he's like, Dad, I don't know what to do. And the dad's like, Jesus Christ, you're being enslaved. So then, of course, they had to ruin it, and they had to go and message, the developer, developers had to, turn all that off and free everybody and, and get rid of people's carriers, penalize them. And everybody's slavery press gang fun is over now.
That's a really valuable lesson, actually. It's don't trust the guy that comes up to you freaking with a plan that's too good to be true.
Get rich quick.
Yeah.
Just they chain you up and make you mine in the asteroid fields.
Oh my god.
It's fantastic.
My god.
So Elite's on February 15th.
What's that?
I said Elite's on sale till February 15th for anybody who wants to buy a copy.
Yeah, just don't agree to accompany anybody to go mining in some asteroid belt 30,000 light years from Earth.
Oh god, I loved it.
It's so fucked.
So in other news, Bella Ramsey and Pedro Pascal were cast in The Last of Us live action HBO series. Bella Ramsey was the girl that played Lyanna Mormont in Game of Thrones. Yep. Mike, if you
what's that? If I what?
Do you remember her? She was the little girl in the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And you know who Pedro Pascal is, right?
Yeah. I do now.
Yes.
He is the Viper.
He comes to vipe the windows.
How do you feel about that?
575.
How do you feel about that casting, Levy? For Joel?
I'm okay with it. I mean, people are saying it's like, Pedro Pascal is Joel. I mean, Joel's like bigger and more grizzled and white. And I'm like, who cares? I mean, really? Yeah. I mean, his size and everything, and most certainly race. Not that I don't think I really saw too much about the different complaints about the difference in race or whatever, but Joel's physicality or whatever, I don't think was a major contributor to his character. I mean, I think Pedro Pascal is perfectly suited to play Joel or whatever, I mean, and in all honesty, in the face, he kind of looks like him. If you put a scruffy beard on him, muss up his hair a bit and put some gray in it. Yeah, I think he'd look a lot like Joel. So
yeah,
but yeah, I'm down with the casting. I'm eager to see how Bella Ramsey does in the role. So
yeah, I think she'll do good. I think one of the things is that when you have any type of video game, it's kind of hard to take a real person to match that because it's a fucking CGI fucking character.
Yeah,
I mean, it's you're never gonna get it right. I mean, unless you're like Nathan Fillion and it's fucking Uncharted, but
unless it's you just use unless the character itself is actually face modeled from somebody and you get that person to play that person in live action, but
like Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. But actually a lot of characters in The Last of Us 2 were actually face modeled from real people.
Okay.
Like Dina, Abby. Well, Abby actually had two physical models, one for the face and one for the body. Because Abby was fucking jacked. She had arms like a man.
I haven't played it.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. There's a lot of crybabies because certain things happen in the story they didn't like it. But they cry and bitch about it, and because of that, they don't see what the deeper meaning of the story is and whatnot. There's a lot to go into there, but so I won't go into it now. But yeah, no, there's a number of people that are have actual face models and stuff in The Last of Us 2, and they actually do it in a lot of other games too. Did you ever hear the game Detroit Become Human?
Yes.
Every character or just about every character in that game was actually face modeled from the actual actor that was voicing them. So
even from The Force Unleashed, you had Sam Witwer was modeled after that.
Kestis?
Yep.
Oh no, I'm sorry. You said Force Unleashed. Okay.
About
Starkiller.
Yeah, Starkiller. Yep. And what was the shoot? I just thought of the other one.
The one that I got you. Shit, I can't remember what it's called now.
The one, the game that you got me, the Star Wars one. That dude that made
Cal
that
Kestis.
actor. Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Well, that's the character that he plays. He
Can't
played,
remember his name. Can't remember the actor's name.
Moynihan something, isn't it?
I think you're right.
He played the Joker, or not the Joker, but some character that's supposed to be like the Joker in Gotham.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like if you're going to be already like, you know, doing motion capture, why not do the whole thing? You know, if it's a character that's going to be something that's unique to the game, and it's not you're trying to model like Han Solo or something specific that has to look that way.
Yeah, that's becoming a lot more common.
Yeah.
So
did you hear that Chris McCarpenter accused Josh Whedon as well of abusive and traumatizing behavior?
Yeah.
And then a few other people from Buffy have come out and mentioned that the whole time filming when they were like teenagers back then was like really hard and difficult. The actress that played Willow, I forgot her name.
Allison Hannigan. She came out and said something now.
Or she mentioned something, and then
so I know Amber Benson came out right away.
Yeah,
and
Sarah Michelle Gellar made a comment about it, and who's I don't know who the actress was. Was it Michelle Trachtenberg? Is that played Dawn?
Yeah, Michelle Trachtenberg played her sister. Yeah,
she said something like how Josh Whedon wasn't allowed alone in the same room with her at points in time or something.
Yeah, it's funny you're not hearing anything from Firefly though, and what other show did he do?
Angel?
No, I mean Chris McCarpenter was on Angel. But yeah, so like I'm just curious if the people from Firefly are just staying silent or if that show just wasn't in production long enough for him to get that way.
I don't know.
So
I guess it depends.
For it to become a major problem. So
I guess it's like, people say it's not really, it's more of accountability, but it's like from so long ago that people think that it should be okay, but it's not. Because it's like, shit happens still today. I mean, like you said with the whole Justice League thing.
Yeah. So.
And Mike, you heard this, I know, because Gina Carano has been fired by Lucasfilm because of her opinions being voiced on Twitter and social media.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's like I said in the chat, man. Like, you can have whatever opinions you want to have, but sometimes in the best interest of your career and people around you, that maybe it's just better to chill the fuck out.
People have to think of like social media more like realistically, right? So you say something on social media, same idea as if you go out to the main street in town and you stand on a cardboard box or a wood crate or whatever, and you start yelling shit. And
if you stand on a cardboard box, you're a tiny motherfucker.
Well, that's what I meant. Yeah, on a fucking milk crate or some shit. And you're like, hey, fucking listen. I'm being oppressed, just like the fucking Nazis, the fucking did to the Jews, blah, blah. And then people walking by listening to you.
Nuts.
Yeah. And then you start getting groups of people to listen to you, and they're literally listening to you. The place that you work for down the street is going to go, that's not really a good image for us. I think we're going to let you go.
Right.
That's it, And that's basically the story. So people can complain all they want, but that's when you start confusing the actual character with the actor, and they're not the same thing.
Right.
Yeah. And, people are saying, her free speech, but it's like, well, I mean, they keep using that word, but I don't think it means what they think it means.
They don't. It's not.
To paraphrase Inigo Montoya.
Right.
But it's not freedom from consequence. You're free to say what you want, and the government cannot,
oppress you.
They can't silence you. They can't censor you. The government can't censor you. But the problem is that corporations aren't government.
Right.
and they are well within their rights to distance themselves from someone who's damaging to their brand, or somebody that reflects badly on them, if an employee reflects badly on them. So I'm always open to people voicing their opinions and stuff, but you got to remember there's consequences for the things you say, and there's consequences there, and despite how we may want it to be, there are consequences for your opinions if your opinions are looked upon as offensive. So feel free to speak your mind and say what you want to say, but know that there's consequence there could be consequences for things you do and say, right? So
that could be 10-15 years later too.
Yeah, if you're willing to open your mouth and say what you want to say, then you also have to be willing and willing to accept the consequences of those words. So it's not you can't get one without the other.
You are correct, Levy. And my last bit of news, I have that Keanu Reeves has reportedly, this is a rumor, been offered the lead role of Kraven in Kraver the Hunter movie.
Any word if he's accepted it?
It's a rumor, so they're not really. It's nothing official.
Yeah.
I won't shit on it until I see it, but I can't see it. Unless it was, I don't know. See, I see him more like, I guess John Wick Keanu Reeves, I guess I could see as Kraven a little bit more, but like I can't help but picture like, Bill and Ted.
You know who would be an awesome Kraven the Hunter?
Do tell.
The guy that played the most interesting man in the world.
Yes. But like younger, most interesting man in the world. Yeah, but I like old, like
that actor. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
No.
Like I would see that movie starting out with like him being old Kraven telling the story.
Yeah.
Of young Kraven, and then it would be like, and it would go to the past, and there would be like some younger actor.
Keanu
Reeves. Dude, we should be writers, bro.
Why don't you think the most interesting man in the world could be Kraven, Jed?
Just doesn't fit.
I'm not saying he'd play him as the most interesting man in the world. I don't always on Spider-Man, but when I do, I shoot myself in the face afterwards.
Nah, I'd see more like Ray Stevenson. I could see in that role.
Ray Stevenson. That's who is that?
He played the Punisher in the second Punisher movie.
Oh, okay.
He was in Thor. He was in
Thor. Which Thor?
He was Volstagg in the first and second movie.
Was he? That was Volstagg?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had a big like fat suit on and stuff. And
okay.
What was he? He was in that Black Sails. He played Blackbeard, I think it was he played.
Okay.
He was in a bunch of shit. But yeah, I could see him playing like a Kraven, like throw a big fucking mustache on him and shit. And that's Kraven's like a big dude. He's not like fucking Keanu Reeves size. He's like,
well, I mean, the most
big broad guy,
suit.
Yeah. But you want to have somebody that has like a broad kind of like, stature to him.
Yeah, imagine the most interesting man's out there in like a leopard print, like, cod piece, like looking like Man of War.
I mean, the guy owns a puma like a house cat. He has to shoo it off his countertop.
Kraven once parallel parked a train.
Yeah, you're saying like Keanu Reeves is like Kraven is like saying like little sweet being Kraven. I don't see it. That's all the news I got. How about you, Levy? What about the weird news?
Well, actually, I do have a news story here. CD Projekt Red. Have you guys heard of them?
No.
Sounds familiar.
They are the developer of Cyberpunk 2077, Witcher 3, and a spin-off game from Witcher 3 called Gwent, which is like a card game. It was a mini game that you could play in Witcher 3, and they made it its own game because it was very popular. So we know that they launched Cyberpunk 2077 back in December. It ended up releasing with a huge amount of bugs and glitches, and the performance on the base systems of the last gen game consoles, they had very, very poor performance. So there was a big controversy over all of that and whatnot. Well, apparently, recently, the CD Projekt Red servers were hacked, broken into, and the source code of like all of their games and other company documents and files were stolen. And the thieves basically wanted ransom money to avoid or to prevent them from releasing the information online, including the game source code. But it turns out that source code for some of the games has already been sold on the dark web in excess of millions of dollars.
Awesome.
So, the Cyberpunk 2077 and Gwent source codes have been confirmed to have been sold. There was supposedly an auction on the dark web with a opening bid of $1 million for Cyberpunk code, and with a buy it now price of $7 million, and they ended up selling it, or they ended up accepting an outside offer. So no one knows exactly how much was spent.
See, the best thing they could do right now is what they should do is they should just release it as open source now. They should just release it to everybody. That would be the best thing to do. Fuck everybody, who bought it or wants to buy it. Just release it to everybody as open source. Yeah. Well, maybe not open source, but just release the code so it's out there. That's what I would do.
But wouldn't that, having the source code, wouldn't that allow people to break into other people's computer systems then through the game itself?
I mean, you could expose like bugs to the system.
I'm just wondering, because I know that there was actually a problem with the game a couple of weeks ago where people were actually able to break into people's computers using through the game if people had modded the game. They're like, people could have I guess there was some mods that had some sort of coding where it allowed people backdoor access to people's computers.
That's unusual because normally it had
to do with vulnerability within the game itself that allowed this to happen. I think. I don't know too much about hacking itself.
I mean, like, you're basically low level, getting access to the file system through, some type of hardware bus or device or something like that to utilize that as a backdoor. But I mean, you really have to allow that type of access with that software. And that's, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of ways around that. But the opposite side of things is that, think of it as think of Linux, right? There's all that open software. Everyone has, people can break it. But Linux is one of the most secure operating systems, not even Windows doesn't even touch it with a 100-foot pole when it comes to patches. And when there is vulnerabilities that are discovered like that, it's patched immediately and people can download and patch their stuff like right away. Whereas if you have a company that has closed source into themselves, it takes weeks months before you can get a patch. If you get a patch. I mean, look at Skyrim. You didn't even get a patch. Yeah. So, if that vulnerability exists, then that sucks. But if you have the source code, then people who are smart enough, they can patch it. And then distribute
that vulnerability's been since been patched. So
I mean, when you have any type of low level source, of course, you could find exploits in anything. But then the person has to be stupid enough to fucking run it. But not everyone who plays video games isn't exactly. I also security based systems because most of the time you're looking at agreements that you're supposed to agree or disagree to, and you just click I agree anyway. And it could be like, they say, well, we give you access, to all of your computer systems and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, yeah, sure. Okay, whatever. I want to play the game. So, but no, not just because you have the source code doesn't necessarily mean, but it's possible.
No, it was just a thought that I had. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know anything about hacking, so I don't know how that shit works.
I do.
I mean, if the movies I've seen are to be believed,
yes, hackers is 100% accurate.
Yeah, all it takes is a topless Holly Berry to, break into the Federal Reserve Bank computer systems and stuff.
I will tell you that there's not one movie that is accurate.
Yeah. Well, I heard Hackers was kind of accurate.
That's why I use that as my icon. That's why I always Pack Pirate, the smiley face with the eye patch. Uh-huh. That's from Hackers.
Oh, I see. Jed the Hacker.
That's me.
Hacker Man.
Hack the planet. You got any other weird news, Levy?
I do have some weird news.
Mike, you still awake?
Yep.
All right, good. Wake up.
Okay. So this first one, this is from IFL Science. I call it That Didn't Age Well. College student dies 10 hours after eating spaghetti that had been left out for 5 days.
Ooh.
Yeah, he this is a 20-year-old college student, and he would prepare his meals for the week on a Sunday in an attempt to save time and money. He would boil pasta, then put it into Tupperware containers to be eaten during the week after adding a sauce and reheating it. The Belgian student reheated spaghetti that had been prepared 5 days prior and left in the kitchen at room temperature, according to a case study. He attributed the odd taste to the new tomato sauce he put on his spaghetti, ate it all, and headed out to play sports.
Oh, man.
So apparently he never put this, in the refrigerator. Within 30 minutes of eating the pasta, he was experiencing intense abdominal pain, nausea, and headache. And after returning home, he immediately had intense episodes of watery diarrhea and vomiting profusely, but did not seek medical attention. Instead, chose to stay in his house, drink water, and try to sleep it off. Next morning, his parents were worried. They went in to check on him, and he was already dead at 11 a.m.
Yikes.
Apparently, he died at 4 a.m., roughly 10 hours after he ate the spaghetti. His body was autopsied, and samples of the pasta and sauce were sent out for testing. The autopsy revealed he had liver necrosis, indicating his liver had shut down, as well as possible signs of acute pancreatitis. Fecal swabs revealed presence of Bacillus cereus, a bacteria responsible for fried rice syndrome, food poisoning commonly caused by leaving fried rice dishes sitting at room temperature for several hours. Ooh, I kind of do that. The sample of his meal sent to the contains significant amounts. Yeah, so he had significant amounts of Bacillus cereus, confirming that his pasta meal was the cause of the illness, leading to his eventual death just hours later. So,
isn't that like listeria? Isn't that like the same type of thing?
Maybe, I don't know. I've heard of listeria. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, man. I get weird when I just leave something out for like an hour, before I throw it in the fridge.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, my wife leaves things out like night and the next day, and I'm like, you're gonna get fucking sick one day and fucking die from that shit. Yeah. So I never really put it in the fridge. Then I just let her do it. Sorry, is that too dark?
So this next one comes from NBC News, but it was all over the place yesterday, or was it the day before? I call it Cat Lawyer, Attorney at Law. But apparently there was a we know that courts have been having hearings and whatnot over Zoom, right? Like over Zoom video calls. So apparently there was some sort of hearing where you had the judge and the two lawyers on, but one of the lawyers apparently had a filter activated, which basically turned him into a cat, and he didn't know how to turn it off.
I saw that, dude. It was so fucking funny, man.
So one of the things he says, he's like, they're explaining, like, my assistant here, or secretary here, doesn't know how to how to turn off this filter and whatnot. And he's like, I'm prepared to go forward with it. I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
How are those other two guys on the feed with him keeping a straight face, man?
Well,
I mean, I saw the one crack a smile a little bit.
You could definitely tell he was smirking a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean, like if that was me and you on there, we would have been dying, dude.
Well, we're also not lawyers.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, lawyers have no personality.
So, but yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. That made all the social media rounds in the last couple of days. So
the clip I saw was only like real short. It was only like 30 seconds. Was that all there was?
Yeah, it wasn't long. It wasn't long. The judge was trying to. The judge had to stop and then let him know. It's like, hey, look, you're a cat. Yeah, it's a filter. We don't know how to turn it off. I'm live. I'm not a cat.
You know what? He should have just wrote it till the end, dude. He should have told them he absolutely was a cat. Oh no, that's not a filter. No, I'm a cat now. I'm a cat.
I identify as a cat.
I identify as a cat.
What was that? Shit. What was the name of that actor that died just recently? The diabetes commercials. Well,
Wilford Brimley.
Well, yeah, Wilford. Remember when there was a big fat cat that looked like him?
Yeah, it did look like him. Yeah, it did look like him. Diabetes cat.
Yeah.
Diabetes cat. So yeah, that's it from a weird news.
Levy, go look at the cup face I put in the chat.
Okay.
No, that's it.
Oh. What's
like what? Like what is that face?
I don't know.
I mean, I know it's the cup lock. It's a alternate face for lock, but it's just I don't know what they were.
And he's like winking.
What they were aiming for.
It's like I can pee finally.
Cup would never make that face. Has anybody seen Cup smile in a comic book or in the cartoon? Never. Maybe it's ironic. Maybe it's an ironic smile face.
Maybe it's the I do TV, you do TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial. No.
I don't know. I feel like Cup should have just had 7 angry. Like they would have see now that would have been funny if they would have put 3 or 4 alternate faces in, but they would have all been the same face, and it would have just all been a pissed off face. All right, toy news. I really don't have a whole hell of a lot of toy news, but that's fine. So first up, probably something I only care about. I think Levy, maybe you said you were in on these guys too. Can't remember, but there was some new shots of the Moon Studios train bots out there. Did you guys get to see those?
I saw those pictures. That's the ones that said track not included, right?
Does it say that somewhere?
Yeah, I thought it said on the bottom track not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Lego
track not included.
Why not? Why can't they give me track with the train?
Yeah,
it's a rip.
No, I'm glad they're not giving us track, because that's another one of those accessories that's never going to be used for anything. Right into the box, just taking up space.
You know what? You're right. Those trains fly, right?
Yeah, they should have.
Yep.
They're cool looking, man. Dude, I can't wait.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. They're very cool looking.
No, they're not.
Well, you don't like anything anymore, so I get that. I understand.
They look like loaves of like those little pumpernickel bread. That's what they look like. It's basically rectangles.
Well, the one's that's what a box car looks like, doesn't it? Well, yeah. Well,
I guess if you're in the trains, are you in the trains? Yeah. Well, no.
I'm in the trains that turn into robots. Not much in the trains and shit, but I'm in the robot trains.
What about trolleys? Do you like trolleys?
When I was looking at these guys, it made me think of a question I wanted to ask you. So like you've seen Transformers from like either later seasons that you didn't really have an association with, or maybe even like different lines like Armada or whatever.
Sure.
Beast Wars, whatever. Like, but shit that you're not obligated to buy because you like both of you kind of had like, all right, I'm getting, season 1 and 2 or season 1 and 2 and dabble in season 3 and shit like that. But when these like late season 3 and season 4 guys come out and like shit from like Master Force and Victory, and even if they're like cool looking, you're like, yeah, but I don't have any association with this character. But if you saw, but like you see some shit like that Calavinka shit that you were kind of into, and not saying that you're going to buy it, but like, that's cool. I might buy that, or you might buy some stuff from, from some other lines of robot and shit like that, that aren't anything. They just fucking look cool.
Mm-hmm.
So is there like is there a block like where if you look at something, it's like, oh, that's awesome, I'm thinking about buying that shit, as compared to if you saw that exact same thing and it turned out to be like something from Victory or Headmasters or some shit, and you're like, oh, it's a Transformer. Well, I don't have no association with that, so that's an easy pass.
You're going back to the bird binary stuff. That I think looks really cool.
Yeah,
and I wish I did have an attachment to it, but like the manga is like all in Chinese, so like I don't know the characters, I don't know the story, but I wish I did, because then maybe if I did, I really would want to get it, because I think it looks neat. The Predacons,
yeah,
like I don't have really an attachment to them, but the Kang toy stuff, man, I really like that. I really like stylized stuff. That's my thing. I really like stylized shit, so that's why I'm getting those. But I don't really have an attachment to like those combiners or that whole team or anything like that. I just picked those up because I thought they looked really neat.
So the action figure itself, like the cool factor, is more important than any kind of attachment you have to the character that it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but then like there's like the opposite of that for me too. Is like Springer is like one of my favorite like characters. So I want to get that X-Trans bus because it's basically because I like that character that much. Yeah. And if I didn't really like him that much, and I don't have you used the word obligation. I don't have an obligation to myself to complete anything season wise.
Okay.
Like I am not buying Huffer. I am not buying Gears. I'm not buying Sea Spray, or not Sea Spray. It was who the fuck else was Power Glide. I'm not getting like aerial bots. I'm not. I have no completion. Issues at all. Yeah, or drive. Yeah. Yep. So that doesn't. I mean, I probably would still have one Dinobot, one Seeker if it was. Probably. If it wasn't for you guys, I
wasn't for you meddling kids.
Yeah, if you wouldn't, you fucking enabler, I would still have one, of each team, type of thing. So, but yeah, that's the answer to that. But the train stuff, man, with this, you know my opinion on trains. I'm just not a train guy, so this to me looks really fucking boring. That's why I don't like it.
Let's see what else we got here. So, oops, not that. So this isn't exactly news, but I just think it looks awesome, and we're starting to see like the actual finished toy out there a bunch. It's the Kang Toys Dive Bomb Firmament. Man, that thing looks awesome, doesn't it? How about the wings on that thing?
Kato did a review on this.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and it's he said it's awesome. Like overall, the engineering and everything, the paint. The one thing he did mention, which was kind of in the beast mode, like the bird, like the shape of the bird is actually, it looks like a bird, like kind of like in the proportions. Yeah. And the one thing I like about the wings is that you can take the wings off and reposition them on top of the shoulder, so you can get different poses that are
I've seen that
stuff.
I didn't see it in his. I saw another review where they did it. They put it like made it into like a shield in front of them. Yeah, and you can take two of the blades off of them and use them as swords that they can hold too, which is cool. And one thing I didn't know was that those sword type things that are coming the figures are actually, those combine into like a bigger
like weapon for the Predaking mode.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, the man 24 or 25 inches wingspan.
Yeah, shit's wild as hell.
That's not going to fit in a DTOF. You're going to have to keep that in bot mode. Or can't have him like it all like spread out, or anything.
Yeah, if you're going to fit him in, he's going to have to be standing right like he is there with the wings.
Yeah.
Right like it is.
Yeah. But the helmet thing's cool too. How you can have the different, the bird head down or the up.
When it's down, dude, it totally reminds me of G-Force.
Yeah. Yeah. The paint he set on is like fantastical. So yeah, I can't wait to get again, this is like another, like I mentioned to you earlier, this is like the amount you per price point is like in your favor, as a purchaser, as a person that's buying it. That could easily be sold as probably as like a $200 toy.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. And so this has been, I saw the pre-order for this a while ago. For some reason, I forgot to put it in last time, but have you seen these? It's a Spike and Carly Warriors Workshop WWS-CO1 scientist couple. So it looks like they're doing some humans that are like a little bit larger scale. I guess they're going to kind of scale them. All the other Masterpiece ones were like scaled to vehicle mode, and they were so tiny, and they try to put articulation on them, and they're all crap. So these guys are trying to do some that are like a little bit bigger and making them look a little better, a little more better painted, some articulation and shit, which is cool. I think I saw replacement hands and stuff. So that's kind of a cool idea.
How high are they going to be?
I wish they had them standing next to.
It said like 1/30th scale, but I don't know what that equates to.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. I know they're larger. I think. Man,
5 inches?
No, not that big. Not that big.
No, that'd be like once.
Let me see if I can find a picture of them standing next to something else that we know. Okay, here we go. Grab that one. So here is a picture of them standing in front of Wheeljack.
So that's really small. Is that right? So it says 1/30th is 10 millimeters. That's
Here, I got
that's like 0.4, less than half an inch. That's really
they're a little. No, less than half an inch.
Can't be right.
Oh, 130. Yeah. Now here's one with Masterpiece Rumble. So they're like they're up to his chest roughly.
Let's see, well, how tall is Rumble?
Oh, he's tiny.
Yeah, he's tiny, but he's like those are still way bigger than the ones that are, well, not way bigger, but I mean they're considerably bigger than the ones that they give us now.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they had him standing next to one of those. They might.
I think that's a good scale, though. Again, with Rumble there.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah, I think so too.
I always thought Rumble was like a 7 foot compared to like humans, which were 6.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Let's see. Oh yeah. So I saw the TCP put up some pre-orders for alternate G.I. Joes. Did you see that shit?
Yes.
What do you
alternate
mean?
Paint jobs?
Yeah, Duke, Scarlet, and Roadblock, I think so far.
Yeah, without the gold paint. They replaced the gold paint on those.
I actually hit him up, and I was chatting with him a little bit, and he told me that he's almost positive that like regular versions of the Cobra Island ones are going to be released.
Yeah,
which is good.
I saw there was a blue-eyed beachhead variant that's like going for a lot of money.
Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll have to keep our eyes open over the next couple months. That's all I really got. There wasn't like a whole lot of reveals Transformer wise. I'm seeing some Unicrons out there, some of the HasLab Unicrons making their way out there. So
yeah,
that's cool. Can't wait to get
when
mine.
are you supposed to get? March, right? So when they said
sometime in March. Levy's going to come over and we're going to review it. And Nate said he was going to come down and bring all kinds of Nate stuff with him.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that'd be great. We'll eat a brownie, Levy.
Oh yeah.
And
I love brownies.
Don't forget the the Omega Supreme incident.
Oh, I know. It's definite. Believe me, it will be referenced. Might even have to do a little flashback, like where we put that clip in there. Oh shit! Or no, it was fuck.
You know, I haven't had a chance to talk to you about this, but you know, besides the whole $20 bet that we got going, but besides that, how do you feel about the changes that they made like last minute? Are you do you give a shit or
advertisement?
Yeah, so the some of the paint looks a little goofy. Like I do wish they would have painted the top or the bottom teeth or the top teeth. Like one of his rows of teeth is painted and the other one's not.
Bottom. Yeah, the bottom teeth aren't.
Now, if I really want to paint the fucking thing, like I could always do it.
Silly.
I don't work for Hasbro, so I shouldn't have to, especially for the amount of money I pay for it. But like, not really the end of the world. And the blue like opening, like where the mouth is and shit.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I was like, man, you know, it was orange. It should be orange. I don't know why it's blue now. But the longer I look at it, the more I'm starting to like that it's blue. Because when it was orange and it was all like the same color, it didn't give you that, like that it's a hole there. And now it's blue and the teeth are orange coming out of it, like it gives more the illusion that it's like there's a hole there, like there's a mouth there. So I'm actually kind of sort of digging the blue being there.
Okay.
You know, and I mean, they say colors are going to vary.
Sure.
It's not like they don't put that on, you know what I mean? You can't. And then when it's like everybody's cool with the fine print until something comes up in the fine print and then they all bitch about it. But yeah, I guess they probably could have, I don't know, trying to think of how they could have played it where it would have been better. Like if they would have let fans like vote on it and shit. Like, do you want this shit to be orange or blue? But then that's weird. That's weird because that leaves like, you know, whoever votes the other way is being affected by choices that they didn't make, you know, and then they're all paying the same amount of money. So yeah, I don't know. It doesn't bother, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't bother me.
Well, that's good. I know I've read a lot of people it bothers, like where they're going to get it and just basically fucking turn around and sell it because it bothers them that much.
Yeah. You know, I think people say that shit and then they take that motherfucker out of the box and they're like, you know, this is pretty fucking awesome. Although it's getting some crazy ass prices on eBay already. You seen some of them?
Yeah, it was what, $1,300?
Dude, $1,400 and shit. Like, holy Christ, man.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. Like, I just don't understand how you got $1,400 to pay for that now, but you didn't have, you know,
$650 to pay
six for it. Then it's like, I don't know.
Oh, that's right. It was 600, right?
5 something, right? It was less than that, wasn't it? Right, Mike? It was less than 6, wasn't it?
But you end up paying more than that with the shipping. Like 6 and change. But it was $575 plus shipping.
Oh,
yeah, right. Man. I mean, the people that get it and they don't want it and they're around sell, they're gonna have to pay that whatever the hell is shipping it would be to send that shit out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most of the time the buyers pay that. I mean, unless they include it in their shipping price. I mean,
yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
But I mean, if they're going for that price, it's like, Christ, man. That makes me want to. We'll have to see what happens with the Sentinel, but it makes me want to just like get in on crowdfunding shit, even if I don't want it, you know, just to sell it later.
Yeah, like that's a gambled risk, you know.
Yeah, we'll have to see what goes on with the Razor Crest. But yeah, that's all the Transformer-ish toy news that I have.
I can't wait to get my $20 from you when that fucker can't fucking pose right.
I don't know, man. I saw some pictures without stands, man. I didn't see.
Yeah, you know what? I saw him leaning up against fucking entertainment centers too.
Well,
also those ankles pop when he was doing the A stance too. So
there was one. There was one video. The 2 Asian guys that were doing the review.
Yeah,
and they were wearing gloves, I think, and everything. But they had him standing without the stand, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, man!" And then like there was the bloopers. They put the bloopers at the end, and one blooper was him like tipping over backwards, and the dude had to like catch him before he fell off the table.
Yeah, That shit was standing there, and that dude was about like walking near it, and it went in one ankle snap, and the other one snap, and he was like, "No."
See, here's all joking aside about the $20. Here's how I think this thing is going to be. Did you ever fuck with the Fans Toys Omega Supreme?
Just at your place, so not really that much.
So if you put the Fans Toys Omega Supreme in a perfect A stance, like with the legs straight and just him standing straight up, he's gonna lean backwards and he's gonna fall the fuck over backwards if you let him stand there for long enough. You have to put, if you're gonna put him in an A stance, you have to tilt his toes outward, like point his feet outward a little bit, and that causes the weight to shift a little bit forward, and then he can still kind of like, he stands up straight and he's balanced and he's fine, you know? Like,
right.
But when I have him on the shelf downstairs, it's fucking scary, man. Like if he had a stand, I'd put him on the stand, like just for display, because I have him purposely leaning backwards a little bit. That way, if he's going to go one way or the other, it's backwards. So he'll just lean up against a wall and it'll be fine. Like there were like regardless of being able to pose him, I'm thinking that he's going to be fine posing. Like if you just want to snap a picture of him, put him in a pose, get him nice and balanced, and then take the picture. But there would be no fucking way that I'd be putting him, like if I had, say, Detolfs in the center of a room and I had room above that to just have him standing there, there'd be no way I would display him without the stand. No, not a toy that size. You know, I think he's going to be able to hold poses fine, but not trustworthy enough to leave him on a shelf that way. That's my true feelings. That's what I think is going to be like.
Yeah, because the center of mass is be all over the place, and you're gonna like you said, trying to bend them forward and sideways to just kind of keep that center of mass in the middle, so it doesn't tip over.
Yeah. Yep. It was like when I was doing that Dinobots, the Dinobot recreation with Devastator. Like I had the Toy World Devastator holding Stomp, like for real. There was no like tricks or anything, and he was able to do it, but it was fucking scary. Anyway, what else we got before we move on?
I actually can't think of any other toy news. How about you, Levy?
I heard that because of Gina Carano's termination, that the Black Series Cara Dune reissue that was, I guess, planned has been canceled.
That's 100%. That's 100% true, Levy.
Is it?
Yeah, I saw this dude posted a screenshot of an email he got from BBTS, and yeah, it was telling him that his pre-order has been canceled.
Yeah, that sucks. You know, it's a good thing April was able to pick that figure up when she did at Target.
Probably going to be expensive as hell too.
Yeah, I'll recommend her to keep it in the package.
All right, what's up? You want to move on to Q&A?
Sure.
Q&A and then fucking call it a night. Yeah.
So we got a few questions here. I'll read them out since Levy wanted me to share them. Nathaniel Armstrong writes in, what was your jam on the grade school playground? Were you master of the monkey bars, 4-square champion, bench splinter, pin cushion of loneliness?
I was a master of, bullying kids for the lunch money.
Were you really?
No, I'm just kidding. I was a master of somehow getting out of every gym class where they were doing something with basketball. So, yeah. Oh, and then there was one time when this is like in like first grade, maybe second grade, we were at the park for recess, and because there was a park like right next to the school, and we were on the merry-go-round, like a bunch of us, and there's a hole in the merry-go-round because it's made of wood, right? So it's spinning around, and I'm like, huh. And I stuck my foot in there, almost broke my ankle. So,
Wow.
so you could say that, Jan.
Jesus.
Yeah, I learned never to do that again.
You guys had it good because my grade school playground was fucking cement and fucking metal fence. That's all we had.
Same here. Yeah, no, same here. Same here.
All we pretended to do was we pretended there were bases when we played kickball, and that's all we had.
Right.
That's it.
I remember having
fell and ripped your jeans or skinned your knee or fucked your face up. That's too bad. Go to the nurse after recess was over. Yeah. We didn't
just remember having
monkey
2
bars
boxes.
or nothing.
We had 2 boxes painted on the floor, on the ground, man. Like imagine like a basketball court, but like all you had was like this half court and that half court, and that's all it was.
Yeah.
But we would use those as like the bases, like you said. We would use each corner as the base.
We didn't have basketball nets or.
You guys had well, no, we didn't have the nets or anything. We just had the fucking 2 boxes painted on the ground.
pretend there's a hoop.
Yo, we played line tag, man. It was like one person would be at the middle line, like at half court. What would be half court if there were nets, but there wasn't. Mm-hmm. And then like there would be people standing on either end, and then so line tags. Those were the 2 bases. So you had to like go from base to base, like side to side, and you had to like juke out the cat in the middle. Yeah, whoever that would be to get to the other side. Yeah, that's what we did.
We just basically had a big fucking parking lot that we played in. That's all it really was.
It's all you just had a parking lot in your imagination.
Yeah, that's it. And that fucking school, that elementary school I went to, was like we had one bathroom we couldn't go in because the ceiling was collapsing.
Jesus.
It was, yeah. I think we were like 1 or 2 grades away from them changing it to like ripping it down, turning it into apartments. All right. Let's see. Alan Grant writes in, "Hey boys, start off with a good old healthy fuck you, John Bailey. So my daughter got me thinking the other day. I needed a pee bad. I stepped into the bathroom, and as I was lifting the toilet seat, I took a normal breath in my nose. God damn, I needed a haz mask. Have you ever taken a chick home or gone to theirs and for whatever reason you couldn't follow through? Geez, maybe even with your now girl. Peace."
I read this before and I thought both of those things had to do with each other. So I thought like you couldn't follow through because she's shit or whatever, and it just like completely made you want to leave. But that's not it. It was just, these are 2 separate thoughts now that I'm reading it again.
You'll stank ass.
My answer is no. I could be completely and totally honest with you, because it was so rare, especially, like, especially back in the day, you didn't know when the fuck it was going to happen next. So you're like, no, you're always ready.
I've had that happen to me. Yeah, she's like, yeah, I thought I could do this, but nah.
Oh, so you're saying like a conscious decision. See, I wasn't even reading it that way. I was reading it like shit wouldn't be working. But you're saying, as a conscious decision. Well, everybody's had those where like you're there and then you're like,
No, I'm saying she didn't want to go through with it.
Yeah.
Oh, she's like, Levy, your balls smell.
Oh, it didn't even get to that point. I mean,
imagine that's why.
Clothes were still on. And she's like, I thought I could do this, but nah.
Yeah, that's how nicknames are born, dude. That's like from then forward, you'd be Smelly Balls Curry.
Nah, I'm kidding. That never happened. I never went home with a check. Come on, Nick. Hell, I made April up.
April's a robot.
April is a figment of my imagination.
Let's see. SLB Vlog writes in, Like Alan, I too thought of a question while in the toilet. However, I was fixing mine instead of using it for Birthright. Nevertheless, I've been reading Ready Player 2, and it got me thinking of something that happened from Ready Player 1. In the book, the main protagonist had to reenact war games word for word, playing as Matthew Broderick's character. My question is this, gentlemen, and I use that term loosely. If you had to reenact a movie that you knew word for word, what movie would it be, and what character would you play?
Debbie Does Dallas, John Doe.
you know every word from that, Levy?
Yeah. oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so big. Yeah, see, I know the old words.
Who's next? Am I next?
You're next.
Ricky Vaughn.
Which major league? Number 1 or 2?
Oh, number 1.
That's a tough one.
Dorn. I don't want to see none of this Olay bullshit. Sorry.
Probably Han Solo from Empire Strikes Back.
You nerd.
Yeah. Jeez, I was using his lines in like everyday, like just conversation. Who's scruffy looking? All right. Let's see. Adam Urban writes, why does the HasLab Unicron? I think he means back. Why does the HasLab Unicron back look weird in comparison with Studio Cell and the movie? Mike, would you like to take this one, Mike?
I think it's because the Zeta one or the Studio Cell one, whatever you want to call it. If you look at that one in planet mode compared to the HasLab one is like a perfect fucking sphere. Like, it's like a perfect sphere. So I feel like the only way they were really going to pull that off was by doing a shell former like they did. And when you do a shell former, you got to put the shell somewhere. The Zeta one is not, it looks like a sphere, but it's like a lot of flat panels kind of making the sphere. If that makes any kind of sense. It's like you had a name for that, like when you were talking about animation, like a lot of polygon, like the
yeah,
like a lot of hexagons, you know what I mean? But if you put enough of them together from far enough away, it just looks circular. Like to me, that's how the Zeta one pulls off the planet mode. But by doing a lot of flat surfaces like that, they can kind of all fold up and get into square-ish robot mode type stuff more effectively, pulling off the robot than the HasLab one.
It's called an icosphere. That's what they call it.
So I think that's why the Zeta one looks the way it does, and that's why the HasLab one looks the way it does. I think both of them were trying to pull off two different things. I think the HasLab one was trying to pull off the perfect planet, and the robot mode paid for it a little bit. And I think the Zeta did the exact opposite. They wanted to do a perfect robot mode, which I really think they did, and the planet mode paid for it. And that might have been by design. They might have even, saw the deficiencies in the HasLab one and thought, well, we're going to give fans something exact opposite, like something that one doesn't do. That's what ours is going to do.
I saw that one picture in that post about how a guy took 5 screws out and was able to take all the extra bits off.
Yeah. I'm not putting a screwdriver anywhere near my fucking Unicron. Especially because I'm going to keep him in planet mode anyway. But yeah, it looks, I'd have to see more pictures. I feel like they photographed him.
That's a good question. Have you spec'd out a space?
No, I have zero plan.
You're like coffee table.
Imagine you'd have to stand up to see the TV.
He would just be the centerpiece forever. Doors writes in, he goes, yo, anyone got $20? Asking for a friend. But which one? Let's see. This was kind of funny too. Chris Pickerton writes, are there any good podcasts out there to listen to?
No.
And Gary Allen says, not on Mondays. And then he said, Gary, goddamn right, Thursdays are shit too. Gary Allen writes in. He says, "Name your childhood movie or television actress crush. Who was she? What show or movie stood out to you the most? Have you looked her up recently?" For preteen Gary, it was The Shoe, Not from the Karate Kid, Adventures in Babysitting.
Yeah.
Teenage Gary, Tia Carrera from Wayne's World, who I got to meet in 2011 at Wizard World
That's a pretty
Chicago.
good pick. Tia Carrera is a pretty good pick.
How about you guys? Who's your preteen and teen crush from what movie?
Alyssa Milano.
I would have picked. I would have figured you would have picked Cindy Crawford, dude. I remember you had a bad.
Oh yeah, well that too. Yeah, that too. But that was more of like, yeah. No, you're right. She was.
Cindy Crawford.
Yeah, she was high on the list. Her and pre all the fake lips and all the other bullshit. Pamela Anderson. More of the face stuff, like just the face stuff. I'm all for big fake boobies and everything, but it was all the face stuff, man. I mean, not that she wasn't hot afterwards, but she was good looking before all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like them those three pre face stuff, Pamela, Cindy Crawford, and Alyssa Milano.
Would you say Levy?
I didn't say anything yet, but
oh my god, Kelly Bundy too.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, she's high on my list. But
Yeah.
For me, the number one was Jamie Luner from a little known ABC sitcom called Just the 10 of Us. I tuned in every Friday night for that show. Do you remember that show, Mike?
I remember it vaguely, but I would have to actually. I don't know if I'd recognize anybody unless I looked them up.
I believe it was part of the original TGIF lineup. No, it was actually a spinoff from Growing Pains about the high school. Mike Seaver's high school coach got fired and ended up getting a job at a California all-girls school. So he picked up his family, moved all the way across the country, and he had like 8 kids, and 4 teenage daughters and whatever. One of the teenage daughters was played by Jamie Luner, and yeah, she was just absolutely gorgeous. So, and I recently looked her up, and she's still fucking gorgeous. So, yeah, the show was terrible. It was pretty bad. But at least now, when I look back on it now, yeah, it was pretty awful. But it was your ABC Friday night sitcom standard fare. But yeah, she was definitely caused a stirring in my teenage loins.
I would probably say preteen was what's her name? Is it Catherine Bach from Dukes of Hazzard? Yeah.
Yeah. Daisy
Duke.
Yeah, that's another good one.
And I think my teen, that's going to be a tough one. There's a lot of them. Yeah, that one I'm not quite sure.
Oh yeah, if I would say preteen, like when I was way younger, it would have to be Patricia McPherson, if you know who she is.
Sounds familiar.
She played Bonnie on Knight Rider.
I know this wasn't really. I mean, there was. I can't remember what year that was, but shit. What was her name? Faith from Buffy. Elizabeth. Eliza Dushku. Yeah, that was the 90s, right? Like early 90s, I guess.
Late 90s.
Yeah, but there was a show that came out or a movie came out. It was God, I forgot her name too. It's been a while since I looked. What the hell her name was? Because she was in the movie The Mimic and Replacement Killer.
Mira Sorvino.
And that's it. Yeah, Mira Sorvino. I remember seeing her in Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion, and I was like, wow, that chick's super hot. So
I always had a thing for Lisa Kudrow.
Really?
Yeah.
She always seemed like a dumb fucking she looked like a paperclip to me. She was just in.
She looked like a paperclip.
She had no purpose.
She had a freaking rack on her, man.
I feel like she kind of looked like a bird a little bit.
Yeah.
Like a stork.
No, I liked her. Yeah.
Yeah, Mira Sorvino was like super hot, like back then, like the
Remember that
mid-90s, early 90s.
Mike, that was the girl that the actress that John really liked, John Laudenslager.
Who are we talking about?
Mira Sorvino.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Yeah, he always liked her.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. See, Gary Allen also says, what is currently waiting in your TCP stash or BBTS POL?
X Transboss Cup and the Overlord, the Fans Hobby Overlord, like upgrade gun and other stuff that I don't need. Overlord stuff, other shit that Overlord don't need stuff. That's it right now. I thought that, you know what is funny? I thought there would be a lot more at this point. Because remember, we were talking about that shit, man. We were like psyched that Kenshiro got pushed back to February. It was like great because there's supposed to be 17 fucking things coming in January. And I think, Levy, you said you were kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
And two of those things that were scheduled in January came through, and we're halfway through February, and that's all there is. So it's like, I don't know, it's kind of surprising.
Yeah. Well, I just shipped my pile of loot, so there's all that crap on the way. But I got and there's a Black Series Han Solo, the Hoth that's in there, and then I got Virtus waiting, and like I said, all the other stuff shipped. So, and Firmament, but he's not in the loot yet.
He's not.
So
that shit
still pre-order. It'll be here soon, though, I think. Let's see. What's the next one?
Well, actually, I didn't get to answer.
Well, we don't care, Levy.
Oh, okay. Well,
go ahead.
Move along then. No, for me, it's at TCP. I got Fantasy Toys Astro Train and Drag Strip. And
you still have the Astro Train sitting there?
Yeah, I wait until I'm like 10 figures deep before I ship.
Wow.
And then at BBTS I got Mezco, Two-Face, and Zartan.
That should be a great video title there. Like,
what's that?
Call it Bots Deep. What's in Levy's Hall? Bots Deep.
Yo, the fucking, I love that meme that goes around every once in a while. I was like, yeah, he tells me that he brings home 6 figures a month, and it's like it's like a Thundercat, a Transformer, fucking He-Man, like shit's cracking me up.
That's gonna be the name of the show. Bots Deep. I got one more question. Marlon writes in, he says, how hard is it to not buy mainline figures like Siege Kingdom when you are balls deep in third party?
You're really right,
it doesn't really, that doesn't affect me at all. Like it doesn't affect me one bit. I walk by that and I don't even pay it a second of attention. I think it's cool. Like, hey, they're cool, and I enjoy seeing pictures of them online, and I think it's a well done line and all that stuff like that. But I walk right past that shit in the store. I have zero urge to buy any of that shit.
Do you think if it was masterpiece scale, you'd like maybe give it a second glance?
If there were some ones that I didn't think a third party or MP would ever do, then yeah, I would think about it. And really, like the Titans, like I shouldn't see, so I misspoke a little bit, but that's just the only exception to the rule is like the Titans, like, you know, the city bots, basically, like those I got. But yeah, there are certain characters that I didn't think I was ever going to see come out of an MP or a 3P or whatever. Then I probably would, if it was skilled right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially this line, this latest trilogy, everything's pretty well done.
That's it for the questions.
No, there is one more.
Okay.
This one is from Will Bell. Wait, I gotta read what he wrote. Hit me up the other day. It said here, brother, I cannot thank you and all the guys for the amazing podcast you all turn out. It is a bright spot in my day when I see a new one come up. And then he said he basically put us on his top 3 list with alongside Booze and Pussy.
What? Wow.
Booze, Pussy, and Blackout and Shout. Mark it down. So that's from Will Bell. So and then
Cool.
we chatted for a minute, and then he wanted to throw this question out there. Which vehicle from G.I. Joe would you like to see in classified scale? Black Series has the gorgeous snow speeder. What would you want Hasbro to do for the Joes? Mine would be Killer Whale or Tomahawk. Thanks, and as always, fuck you, John Bailey.
What was the Killer Whale?
Yeah, that one I actually had to look up. I knew it.
Killer Whale, wasn't that the one that came with what was the Joe that had the deep dive suit on?
Mm.
Isn't that what it was? The guy that had the bubble on his head?
I don't know. There were so many freaking.
What the fuck was his name? It was something like Deep Sea or something like that. Did it have like a yellow stripe down the side of it? Maybe I'm thinking something different.
Was his name Deep Throat?
I think so.
Or
was it like
the infamous Watergate informant?
Or was it something like Deep 9 or something like
Deep 6?
Maybe it was Deep 6. Maybe that's what it was.
I'm trying to look it up, but every picture I click on is fucking tiny. Oh, get the fuck out of here. Oh, for fuck's sake. You know what? I click on a picture and
that was called
being
a shark.
Oh.
That was a shark that they called. So I don't know what the whale is.
I see the box and I'm trying to like pick a picture where I could zoom in to see the character's name and I'm failing. Oh,
well, there's the one I was talking about. That was Deep 6 with the shark.
Who is that? God damn it. Where's his name?
Okay. Yeah, I remember that one now.
Oh, the whale is the hovercraft.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Killer Whale. Yeah, WHALE is abbreviation for something.
Dragonfly?
Dragonfly was the Cobra gun.
That was the helicopter. Forget it.
What was
no, I see the
Wild
hovercraft.
Bill's chopper? What was that?
That was Wild Bill's chopper. The
Right.
Dragonfly.
God damn it. They don't have nothing with the fucking name on it. I'm just trying to look up the dude that came with it. And like nobody has the goddamn
What are you looking
dude's
for?
name. I'm trying to look up the character's name that comes with them.
Yeah, I remember that freaking hovercraft action. That was actually
Cutter.
With
The
what,
whale came with
whale?
Cutter. Cutter is the
Cutter.
character's name. I don't remember
Does it have to do
Cutter.
with the life preserver on?
Yeah.
I got a picture of that.
So anyway, yeah. So that's Will's pick. See, I have a hard time picking this out because I don't have any intentions of collecting any of the vehicles because it's just for 6-inch figures, man.
Yeah.
Like I just don't have the room for all that shit, you know. So I'm gonna have to stick with it. But if like hypothetically speaking, in a scenario where I would have more money and more space, like man, either like a Hiss tank, or a Cobra Rattler.
I would say the Hiss tank would probably be the best idea because you could make that with like real working treads.
Yeah,
and
fuck yeah, man.
There's plenty of space on there for multiple figures.
Yeah,
So I think that would be a really good one.
Jed.
Oh man, that's a tough one.
Could you imagine the USS Flag?
That was gonna be my original smartass answer. Yeah.
No, I couldn't imagine that. That'd be like the size of like a 40-foot. Huge.
Yeah.
Well, the first one was, how big was the first one? 6 feet?
7 feet long.
7 feet. So 7 feet for 3 3/4. And these are like almost twice the size, like 6, whatever, 6. So yeah, you're looking at a good fucking 12, 13 feet. That'd be great.
Yeah. Oh man, that's hard. There's like so many cool GI Joe.
Yeah, there is, man. What was that one with the one GI Joe jet? And I'm terrible with like model names and shit, but it had like the wings that went backward, like the wrong way, like forward. Yeah, that was a cool.
You mean front swept? I thought you meant swing wing.
That was a Conquest, right?
I think so. I'll look that up.
Conquest.
That was a cool jet too.
X3 or something like that. I think that's what it is.
A 6-inch scale
looking it up
Sky
right now.
Strike would be pretty fucking awesome.
A 6-inch what?
That's it. The Conquest.
A 6-inch scale Sky Striker.
A Sky Oh yeah.
Fucking awesome. The 6-inch scale freaking F-14 Tomcat. It's like one of the biggest fighter jets ever made. And you're making that in a 6-inch scale.
Man, I don't know, man. That's hard. Like you probably should go with the solid pick, like a his tank,
Yeah.
Because that'd be like cool. But then you have like all the ones like man.
Yeah, but this isn't like what should they do. This is what does Jed want.
Yeah.
And it don't matter how off the wall it is, because it's whatever you want.
Serpentor's Chariot.
This I command.
Levy, I cannot hear that without fucking thinking about Tiffany, dude. This I command.
I would probably say it would probably have to be a jet. So it would probably be like one of the jets I would probably want. I think at that point it wouldn't really matter what it would be.
The Tiger
if it was
Force
a con.
Power.
Yeah, it could be any of them. Yeah, if it was a Rattler, if it was the...
No, but it would be the Tiger Force repaint.
Oh, right. Yeah. Nah, seriously, like having a jet like that, side, for a 6-inch is cool, because I had the snow speeder and that thing's big, but man, if you had like a just anything in that scale with a full size jet, it'd be awesome.
Well, did you ever see how big the Black Series TIE Fighter is?
I did, yeah. This thing's huge. Yeah, it's huge. Yeah. I don't think I want a chopper. I think I want the jet instead. Do you guys remember, did that hovercraft actually float on the...
Yes, it did.
Yeah, I thought so.
You could drop depth charges from it. Yeah, you can do all sorts of stuff. That was fun. Yeah. I love that thing.
I never had it, but I remember...
I never had it, but my friend did, and it was just so fucking cool. We would play with it.
Oh, you know what? Oh, you know what would be cool?
What's
fucking the fucking space shuttle, dude, and the launcher.
Jeez, yeah.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
It would be huge.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Because I think that was like the second largest G.I. Joe toy behind the flag, wasn't it?
Probably. Yeah. It was the Defiant.
That came with the whole launching platform and everything.
Yeah, because it was on tracks, and then it was mobile, and then you had the shuttle and extra mini shuttle on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is, the G.I. Joe Defiant. Yeah, I remember. Oh yeah, I do remember that shit.
Oh, you know what? This was pretty cool too. The Night Raven.
That was like a tank and shit. Which one is it called?
The Cobra Night Raven. It was reminiscent of the SR-71.
Yeah,
it's just the cockpit.
Starscream was also a Cobra Night Raven in G.I. Joe versus Transformers.
Was he?
Yes, he was.
Shit. All right, well,
that's it.
And that is
we have we got some Beast Wars news coming up, but unfortunately we've run out of time. So hopefully we'll have enough time next episode to do the Beast Wars news.
All right. Anybody got anything in closing?
Thanks, Will, for all the awesome, cool words. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Everything they said, and everybody else too that listens in. And fuck you, John Bailey.
I hope John Bailey does eventually end up listening to this show once.
Wouldn't it be? Because he usually shout him out every fucking.
Yeah.
I want somebody.
Maybe he's the one that sent those pics to fucking Vanessa.
Nah, I'd be mortified if he knew my address.
No, he would send pics with his picture on it.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, he would. Yeah, he would. What a peckerhead.
Movie voiceover guy.
He'd have his face on one side and a fucking J and a B on the other one. Levy.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts.
I'm tired.
Yeah, me too. I got to get going anyway, man. I got to get straight A's.
Straight A's. What, are you back in school?
Kinda.
This is a sex thing, isn't it?
Possibly.
And I remember sex.
All right. Well, yeah, I got nothing outside of that. So, yeah, enough's enough. We're out.